We're good. Can you hear me? Can you hear? God, you guys are always saying I'm late. How dare you? How dare you? Okay. Oh, there's an ad. Sorry, guys. How am I sounding? There's an ad. Sorry, guys. How am I sounding? Oh, wow. The echo. Okay, cool. Sounding good. Here we go. And away we go. What's up, guys? Hey! What's happening, guys? Welcome to the Vodka stream. Sorry, I just wanted to see. Not see, but hear how I sounded. Okay, that's right. Got the Green Lantern shirt on today. Okay, kind of clashes with the background a little bit, but, it's whatever. What's going on, Stallone? What's going on, Belinda? Jose, Comic Brooks, Mr. Eric. Casual Lantern, there you go. That could be a thing. Oh, look at you. Oh, hello. What's up, Will? What's going on? Nicole, if I'm saying that right. Hey from Vegas. What's up? If you've been following me for a while, I've been wanting to move to Vegas. But how am I sounding? Dave, do you get cringe at the sound of your own voice? Not anymore. Not anymore. When you do this for a long time, you get used to it. Sometimes maybe I'll be like, but most of the time I'm used to it by now. But anyways, guys. All right. That's what I wanted to talk about at first. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to hear myself is because look at this guy, guys. It's very phallic, very thick, but my new microphone. Look at that. Look at that. Got a new Blue Yeti microphone. That's right. It's about time to upgrade. Hey, look who's here, guys. The queen of the vodka stream. Cheers, Amanda. She's moving tomorrow. I'm not helping her because social distancing and whatnot. But yeah, guys, happy Friday. But yeah, got a new microphone, making some upgrades. I actually did get a new camera as well, but it turns out it wasn't as great as I was hoping it was going to be. So I'm sending it back, and I'm gonna be nice excuse. I'm gonna be sending it back and looking for another camera. But the changes that are going to be made is, well, I don't know. I think it was time to revamp, and I don't know if the thumbnail of this vodka stream was showing up for you guys. By the way, I have no product in my hair. Because, well, see, she has people that work for her that are helping. I didn't want to, show up with my big muscles and show them all up by putting like your entire refrigerator on my back. So, cheers, Miguel. So, anyways, pretty much, right? Anyways. So, yeah, the reason why I have no product in my hair because I showered not too long ago. Because if you guys noticed in the videos that I put out this week, my hair was just like crazier than usual because I've been in the field at my job all week. So I've been out there just like in there. Yeah, I figured you'd like it. Yeah, I know. For some reason, the thumbnail went blank. So let me pull up what the thumbnail was supposed to be, or what I kind of put as the thumbnail. Hold on a sec here, because I posted about. Okay, hold on. Where are you? Oh man, I hate Twitter sometimes. Hold on a sec, guys, because I posted on Twitter about what I was doing, and then okay, here we go. So there's that. All right, so let me do a screen. Boop. All right, so let's do share screen, tab, boop, share. All right, so there you go. See that right there? See that right there? That's going to be a new setup for something I'm going to be doing at least 3 days a week, probably Monday through Wednesday. I'm going to do Film Junkee Live, where I'm going to have my studio lights on. I'm going to have the green screen working, of course, but it's going to be, of course, angled in such a way where, you see that stuff. So you guys see that, right? So basically, even Film Gob has, I'm just going to start doing more live stuff. So I was testing this last night. Yesterday, I was doing this for like almost 2 hours, but it's basically going to be angled like this. I put my Batman framed photo right there to, as something in the background. And then I'm utilizing my green screen, and I kind of put, a quote from Fight Club in there behind me. It'll probably change. I'll probably have different stuff behind there, but yeah, I'm going to do Film Junkee live. I'm still going to do vodka streams. Don't worry. Every Friday night at 9:00, I'm still going to be sipping vodka with you guys and bullshitting with you. But basically what's going to be happening, why is that still the background? Why is still the live watch? You see that? Jesus, hold on a sec. Why is that still the background? I got to see something here. Why? General camera. Why is that still the background? I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense. And I can't even change it. I don't even see settings. No, nothing. I have no idea why that is still the background. I swear. Whatchamacallit, private chat. No, that's not it. I have no idea why that's the thumbnail still. That doesn't even make any kind of sense. No sense. Why is that still the background? Let's see. Hold on a second here, guys. Sorry. Camera, audio, disable audio processing. No. Why is that still the background? That doesn't even make sense. I don't know. Something's like acting weird on StreamYard here, I guess. Edit. No. Oh, here. Yeah, because that doesn't even make any kind of sense. Save. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, guys. Why is the live watch thumbnail still the background? I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with that. Like StreamYard's acting a little wonky tonight. Who knows? But back to this. Yeah, call ITC. I have no idea. Yes, I have myself as a guest. No, I'm just saying that I'm going to be doing Monday through Wednesday, starting off. I might do Thursday because I was thinking like Thursday is normally like my movie night, so obviously I wouldn't be having a live show but I'm going to be doing Film Junkee live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8:00 Pacific time. I'm basically going to do like a half an hour and just kind of talk about like maybe like 3 movie topics and then one whatever topic, whether it's trending or whatever the fuck. So we'll see what happens, but that's going to be the setup right there. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. So there you go. Back to this. Jesus. Yeah, see, I'm trying to be professional, trying to vamp it up a little bit. And not to mention too, guys, another French Dave. Yeah, there you go. Oui. So Hoskins or who knows? Fuck that guy. No, but another thing I'm going to be doing too, I'm going to be doing more like, I'm going to try to do like, so 3 days live shows, and then of course still the vodka stream, and I might do like a Sunday morning like the Church of Film Junkee thing. I'm thinking about doing something like that as well. I just want to do more live stuff because I actually have a lot of fun doing live stuff. So Molly after quarantine. Do not talk about it, but yeah. Oh yeah. And guess what? Casual Batman's going to be doing some live shows too. That'll probably be on like Saturday nights. So look forward to that. Just a lot more live content. That's what I want to do. Vodka stream is still going to be the vodka stream. It's just going to be like this with just, limited lighting and sipping vodka. But when it comes to the Film Junkee live show, it's going to be full on lights, green screen working. And then I'm going to have topics and then we'll talk about it. It's only going to be for like a half an hour. And I'll rant and rave and just do all this kind of stuff. So, yeah. So that's what's going to be. And then I'm also kind of announce, I guess I can announce it right now too, is remember how I made that stupid video with the whole Andy Signor thing and that whole article, and I made a poorly thought out video? Well, that inspired me to do an even longer video. So in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be working on a full-on Snyder Cut series, basically a timeline of shit, stuff I've been told, the information I've been told, fully out there, just kind of just getting it all out there, kind of just from the start of the whole thing to where we are now when it comes to the Snyder Cut. I'm just going to fucking talk about everything and kind of just in order. So I'm already like writing down, I'm already outlining stuff. So expect like a few videos that are going to be like within a series just to get everything out there because I'm fucking tired. I'm just tired of everything that's, in the Signor article that came out and everything. And it's just like, it drove everybody insane, drove me a little insane. I made a fucking stupid half-ass video. I'm just going to get everything out there and I'm just going to just talk about all the stuff. It's not like I'm just going to like, yeah, we want more Junkee. Hey, there you go. Oh, is she? Molly's in the chat? I didn't see her. Thanks, bud. Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to have people on if people want to stop by. If you want to stop by, we'll have some people on. Dave, kind of like something like that, but in the style of my videos of me talking about stuff, That's what it is. That's what it just kind of inspired me to be like, you know what? It's time to just talk about everything from the beginning of this whole fucking thing to now. We just need to fucking talk about stuff. Talk about the Snyder Cut, everything I've been told, everything that's out there, and just kind of get it all out there because it's turned into such a shit show with a lot of things. And then, with people that are just saying that there's lies being told from me and, just a lot of things. And I'm just kind of tired of it. So I'm kind of just going through right now, going back through my videos and just I'm going to talk about all kinds of stuff. I'm outlining stuff and going to rewatch some videos too, like my first reaction to Justice League, as well as follow-up videos. Just going to talk about a lot of things. Just get it all out there because I think now is the time to do that. So look forward to that as well. So it's basically what I've been doing. Are you talking about the beginning of all this, Justin? I don't know. It's probably going to be not till next weekend because I got to research a lot of shit. And not to mention, guys, also I'm starting a Twitch account and we're going to try to do the Sucker Punch watch again. Twitch is a whole new fucking thing. It's a whole new space. It's a whole new, it's crazy. It's totally crazy. We're going to try to do this tomorrow night. I started my Twitch account, I think yesterday, the day before I was fucking with that too, tinkering with that. It's a whole different beast. So we're going to try to do that tomorrow. I'm thinking it's going to be probably 8:00 Pacific time. So mark your calendars. I'm just trying to, so. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing like a Sunday morning thing too every now and again. So that'd be good. If Dave is talking, must mean we are very well, I'm just saying, I just want to just get everything out there. Just want to get everything out there. Gob and I are fine. Okay. It's just, he actually, that video that he did, recently, that I think Mr. Swenson was a part of. He actually asked me to be part of that video. And I just didn't have the time. I've had a long week of being out in the field. And then, of course, the second job stuff. So I didn't have time to record a segment for Gob's video. And we had a good conversation, too, where he said when he gets his live stuff back on, he wants me on there. And I'm going to have him on my shit. So don't worry. Me and Gob are in good terms. I think what got lost was he wasn't liking the people I was talking to. And I wasn't liking the people he was talking to or associating with. So I think we just kind of lost that. But I think after the recent stuff, we kind of went, you know what? We're good. We're good. We're fine. So don't worry. Gob will be on here soon. And don't worry. It's going to happen. Like he invited me on his live stream when he gets when he gets all that back up and running, and then I'll have him. I've had him on the Vodka stream before, and yeah, I'll have him on again. So don't worry. Me and Gab are okay, man. We're okay. We're good. We're good. So, whoa, got some text messages. I didn't see Molly. Amanda, Molly's in the chat. Molly, say something. Heard you can milk nipples. Heard you can milk nipples. You want to milk me, Greg? Yo. I got nipples, Greg. You want to milk me? There's my terrible. What video? The video that Gob posted about, he had people talk about stuff with what are you doing with your quarantine inspiration and stuff like that. There she is. Hi, Molly. You need to put your picture. You need to put your picture as an avatar, not just have that. Okay. She said I said hi, Molly. See, there you are. You need to have. Oh yeah, of course you need to come back on. Everybody wants you to come back on. Naturally. What's up, Fatal J? Fatal J's on here. He was on the show. He was on the stream last week. We had a great conversation. Had a lot of fun with Mr. J, talking about movies and, of course, talking about our love for. Well, we talked a lot about our love for Man of Steel for sure, and a lot of fun. Of course, Fatal J will be coming back on this thing as well, and I will go on his live stream when he wants me to as well. And that's another thing, that I even mentioned last week too, was the fact that I want to start having more people, not just the same guys. I mean, of course, I have the panel of guys that are frequent visitors of the Vodka stream, like your Colberts, your Swensons, your Justins. So, what's up, Joshua? You just watched Ex Machina just now? That's one of my fucking favorite movies. That was my favorite movie of that year. I forgot what year it came out, but I think that was my favorite movie that year. That movie's fucking amazing. What I need to jump on is Devs from what's his name? I'm totally blanking on what's his name. You know me, I always blank on the names. Yeah, you know what? I like the guy. He's very likable. I watched some of his videos. It'd be cool if I can eventually get him on here. I'll see what happens. Yeah, Devs. I need to get into Devs from yeah, there you go. I knew it was Alex Garland. So yeah, you are a recent addition, but you're a frequent. You're good. People like it when you come on here and rant about shit. Because it's not me ranting about shit. So yeah, Annihilation. Also a fantastic movie. And he wrote the Dredd movie. I don't know if you guys know this, but Alex Garland wrote the Dredd movie that came out a few years ago. He wrote the Dredd movie, and from what I heard, the director was just not cutting the cheese, man, which sounded funny. Cutting the mustard, I should say. And apparently Garland directed a lot of that movie, if not most of that movie. I don't know. So to me, the Dredd movie is also a Garland masterpiece. Yeah, that's what I heard. I thought, but he's not credited as director, right? I don't know. Maybe I should invite these guys. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Stallone fan? I have nothing against Pain and Gain. I can enjoy the shit out of that movie, but my God. And I think Molly enjoys the shit out of that movie too. If she's still here. She's a big time Mark Wahlberg fan. I can't imagine why. But yeah. Do you think Zack Snyder's Justice League will close the story, or will it? I don't know. It's hard telling. I mean, it seems so far-fetched for him to continue on, but sometimes you hear things and it's like, well, can it be possible? Could it be possible? Of course it could be possible. Why not? And I still don't know why the fuck. Okay, sorry. I'm just disappointed in StreamYard tonight. But anyways, see, she's a big time Mark Wahlberg fan. And I know she was loving Pain and Gain. He got super fucking burp. You got, you know what? I haven't. I'm actually going to watch that this weekend. Netflix, why not? Yeah, I mean, I watched it too. I'm gonna watch it again. Just it's a very odd duck. You know, it's a David Lynch, and I think like his I don't know. I don't even think he was fully happy with it, to be honest. So you never saw Pain and Gain? Pain again? Pain and again? Uh it's it's interesting. It's a very interesting thing. Garland doesn't have see? But apparently what happened, Michele, was like I don't know. Apparently he took over like a lot of it. So a lot of that is his. A lot of that is his, man. He directed 28 months later. That's right. That's right. You know what? I didn't even fucking know that. Jeez, that's all. It shows how much I know about Garland. But I know Ex Machina is like, it's like, that's one of the best sci-fi movies out there right now. And then Annihilation is also fucking just, God, that movie, the scene where the creature, I need to watch that movie again. Shooter. There you go. Shooter's one. Yeah, that's a good movie. That's probably that's a top Marky Mark movie right there. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I actually applaud you with that, because it's not an action movie, but it's still very much a fucking Michael Bay movie. Still very much a Michael Bay movie. Holy shit. Is it a Michael Bay movie? Get out of here. It's like, it's not like a crazy action movie, but my God, is that a Michael Bay movie for sure. Oh, and by the way, I do have guests coming on tonight. Yeah, it's not going to be a solo show. Don't worry. You'll see some other heads in here. Pain and Gain is Michael Bay's. Is Michael Bay's only fast-paced movie? Are you sure about that? See, I actually, you know what? I'm all about Bad Boys and The Rock. Those are my top. The Rock is my favorite Michael Bay movie. Dave, do you plan on catching all the new? Yeah, I will, because it's what I do. I watch movies. Boogie Nights and Four Brothers. Yeah, Boogie Nights is great. Four Brothers is good too. And what is my favorite Marky Mark movie? I don't know. I like The Other Guys. I thought he was hilarious in that movie. So that's one of my favorite Mark Wahlberg movies. So anyways, guys, ready for the first guest? Because he is here. He has made it. And hey, Mr. Swenson.
How did I jump from there to here? What happened?
I know. All of a sudden you were just in the live chat.
I was just in the live chat. Whoa. That's amazing.
It's crazy, the technology these days.
Yeah.
I have no idea why the background is still showing that. That's so fucking.
You've upgraded.
Yeah, I did upgrade. I did upgrade this. Yeah. But for some reason it's not showing the thumbnail of the, I don't know. Who knows? Let's just keep it like this. I don't know. But anyways, yes, I've upgraded. I have a new phallic shaped microphone that's in my face.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that.
You know, as similar to, you have something phallic in your face too. I just wanted to be cool like you.
It's a shitty phallic though.
Yeah. Yeah. How long have you had your microphone?
Oh man, I've had this from not totally beginning, because I think I was using a laptop mic, which was shitty as hell.
Oh yeah.
And then upgrade to this is actually my second generation. And then I had a third one, and that broke pretty fast, and that was more expensive than this one. And I'm kind of surprised this one is still lasting for $20.
Oh, that's good. It sounds good. I mean, when I was actually dicking around with this thing to try to get the sound good. I was actually, cheers, by the way. What are you drinking?
Oh, yeah. Same old whiskey.
Nice. But yeah, when I was dicking around with this thing, I actually clicked on one of your videos to hear what your audio sounded like, just to see, like, I was just kind of looking and like listening, and because this one, I mean, my old microphone, I had a blue the blue ball.
Yeah.
The blue microphone ball, and I had that for like 6 or 7 years. And it was fine. It was fine. But I was like, you can't do anything. Like there's no dials. Like this has like, like the gain and the different kind of settings and stuff like that. So I was like,
wow.
Yeah, this one's got all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's nice. Great. So I was like, you know what? It's time to upgrade. So there you go. Now I got a nice, something to play with. Anyways. So, how's it going,
Not that
man?
hot dog. No,
I know, right? Oh yeah.
Just kidding.
Speaking of that, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
everybody is loving the fact that
I
you're cussing
know.
up a storm. There's even a Twitter username that says Cuss Swenson. How about that?
Cuss Wong. Yeah.
Sorry, Cuss Wong.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I know who put it in. I know
Yeah.
who set that up, but I don't know if he wants to let
Yeah,
everybody
we
know
don't
who
have
set
to
that up.
mention it. We don't have to
But
mention it.
yeah. No, I'm cool. It's cool.
Yeah. No, it's funny because
I just lean
people
into
seem
it.
to get a kick out of it when you get all potty mouth on everybody.
I know.
But hey, that's what happens, right? Hey, sometimes you got to do it. I mean, I'm always a potty mouth, so it's nothing new to me. But yeah,
It's funny because I'm actually a potty mouth. Or, yeah, I
you
do
are.
cuss. It's
Yeah, I
just
know.
that for the longest time, my niece, well, my sister-in-law says, your niece is listening to you. I'm like, oh, I better not swear, But then she grew out of it. I was like, okay, let's go.
Let's start talking to you. I know.
Like, I mean, I'm not like cussing all over the place, but I guess when I get really,
It's really,
especially when you're drinking.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting because when I started my YouTube channel, I remember like thinking like, oh shit, is my parents gonna watch this? I got that from, when family members watched it, they're like, yeah, I like it, but you cuss too much. And I was just like, well, what? That was always in the back of my head. And I'm like, but what am I supposed to do? I mean, that's just how
You're being real. You're being
yeah,
real.
exactly. I mean, I know sometimes it was like, maybe it's a little too much and I'll tone it down a little bit, but it's just that's the way I talk. And even my mom has said it now. She goes, yeah, I like watching your streams, but sometimes, a little too many F words. So I'm like, sorry. I mean, whatever, mom. I mean, it's just the way I talk. So it is kind of, you never really think about that. Like when I'm doing like these videos, like I constantly forget that, oh, my mom's watching. I remember like the funniest thing was when I did my Man of Steel watch. And then there was like part where, where Clark comes out of the water and he's shirtless and he's looking jacked. And I'm all, oh, here come the girl boners. And I said something like that. All of a sudden I get a text from my mom, girl boners, LOL. And I'm like, oh, shit, you watched.
Well, she was on here last video.
Yeah,
she was on here last week. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she always jokes is like, this is the only time she gets to see me because of all this fucking distancing.
Oh, right. You probably
I haven't. Because every Sunday, I always go to her house and either bring her dinner or she makes dinner, and we always spend time with each other. But we haven't been able to do that. It sucks that that's the case, But I mean, I'm sure it would be okay, but I'm still going into work. I just don't want to risk it,
Oh, I see. You're essential.
Yeah. I'm still essential, apparently. But how are you? I saw you posted a picture with your mom, right? You were going to Costco.
Yeah, the Costco. There's the senior warning.
Yeah,
and it was all right. I mean, there was a line, but it went through pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Of course, when I went up, they're like, I understand you're doing this for your mom, but you gotta, it has to be on her card.
Yeah.
And you have to only get one thing. So I'm texting my wife saying, sorry, I can't get two of everything.
Oh man, strict.
So, yeah, it's strict. I mean, it's weird too. Just everybody you look at like, they infected, or they want you to think that. It's strange.
It's such a weird world that we live in now. I mean, like, even like I got gas today, and in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, the nozzle, how dirty is that thing? The buttons, everything, and then
everything you touch, you don't even know. The mail.
It's funny because like I had gloves, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna put on my gloves. And because they're like my gloves I work with, so it's not like disposable gloves. So I was like, okay. And I forgot my mask at work. I have another mask at home, but I forgot my mask at work. So I'm getting out. Everybody's wearing masks, and I'm not. But I'm like, we're outside. I'm not going to go inside. I was going to get a coffee because I was kind of like sleepy, but I was like, I'm not going to do that now because everybody's going to look at me and think I'm going to fucking sneeze on them or something. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to wear my gloves. So I just put the nozzle in, and then I just stood back. I just kept my as it was going, I just kept my hands on my side. And then when I did it and then put it back, and then there was like a sanitizer little thing that they had right there. So I just did that, rubbed my hands, and then took off. I don't get I'm not like too paranoid, but
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, I
want
mean,
to.
how far do you get paranoid, right? Are we
Yeah,
overthinking this, or
I,
is it really
I think
that?
I think it's a little bit, it is
Yeah.
a little bit overthinking because it's just, you know, I don't know. It's hard to determine like how effective is everything that we're doing,
Yeah.
Because no matter what, yeah, we could wear masks, but sometimes when I'm like at the store and I'm wearing a mask and I'm like, when I go to the grocery store, I want to spend as little time in there as possible. Even like
Mm-hmm.
before all this, I'm like, I power walk, I grab a basket and I power walk through because I'm usually
Mm-hmm.
getting like the similar things that I want.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll change up some things that I'm going to cook for dinner
Yeah.
during the week. But I'm like power walking, but try to breathe in that mask, like all of a
Oh
sudden,
yeah.
it's like it kind of gets a little difficult. And then you have
Right.
glasses, I have
Yeah,
glasses.
it just
Fucking
fogs
fuck
up.
up, man.
I
These
can't see.
Yes. These masks are not built for people with 4 eyes, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what, jeez. All the time they're
I got
fogging
you,
up.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a struggle. So
It's
I try to like tilt them a little lower where it's not gonna
right.
do it.
Or
It's
put the
just,
mask over, or I
yeah,
don't know, all different kinds of things. And it
pain in the
just
ass. And then today, like this week, I was for my job, I was working in the field, and most of the week we were just like, all the guys were like, no, we're not wearing masks out there, we're out in
yeah.
the open, we're fine. But
Uh-huh.
then, like, our project manager pulled us in the conference room and said, "Hey, you guys got to wear your masks. I mean,
Oh wow.
I know it sucks, but if an inspector shows up and you're not wearing a mask, they could shut us down. They could totally shut us down." So, like today, the
Wow.
hottest day that's of the year so far,
Yeah.
we're out there, and me and my coworker, we like kind of double team because we're like surveying polls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just double teamed it and just freaking we're hustling. So, but we're both wearing full on masks, and it was
Sweating and
brutal. Oh yeah, that's why I like at the beginning of the show, I'm like, yeah, there's no product in my hair.
really.
I fucking showered because I was like, I sweat I probably lost about 6 pounds in fucking sweat today.
Wait, how hot is it today? It was like
It
80s,
got up to
90s?
94.
94? Holy
Yeah.
snap. I
The
thought
heat is here.
you guys just had it was just cold, right? Not
Yes.
too long ago.
Yes, this is what California is like.
Fast flip. Wow.
Oh yeah, there's no like transition. There's no.
Oh
It'll go
wow.
just from like I think like last Friday it was. Last Friday it didn't even get to the 60s and it was raining. Okay, this Friday fucking 94 degrees.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
That's brutal.
Yeah. How's the weather over there? It stays.
It never gets to 90s. I mean, it
Yeah.
gets like to mid 60s and high 80s, but that's about it. So it feels relatively the same.
Hawaiian weather, man. I tell you.
Yeah.
I remember when my dad lived there.
Yeah.
The first house that he had there, townhouse, he didn't have any AC. He had those shutter windows.
Yeah.
And ceiling
overhead fans. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's all, yeah, you don't need it. You just open these up and it just circulates. And I'm like, wow. Because I went there during summer and yeah, it was totally fine. You always have a breeze just passing. But I know sometimes humidity hits there a little bit.
The humidity kills it. I think if it's just dry, it's not too bad. Once the humid, you just start sweating like a storm. You're like,
oh yeah, dude. I lived in Alabama for a little bit. Oh, it was bad. It gets bad over there.
Yeah, but don't come here right now because we got 14-day quarantine if you fly in.
No shit.
Yeah, there's a law. You have to stay in your hotel for 14 days. And if the hotel doesn't see you come back, see you get out, they will call the police. And so we've actually had some arrests from people. Yeah. And some even like if they didn't have, like they tried to go from one hotel to the next, they got arrested. And at the second time, they just, not deported them, but they escorted them to the airport. So the police escorted you to the airport and made sure you left the islands. Yeah, it's weird.
We're living in a whole different. It's a different world,
insane.
Man. Especially when you see like the videos where they actually have drones with speakers.
Yes,
I'm like, that's out of fucking Blade Runner or something right there, man. Jesus,
we have them. In Waikiki, it's a yellow drone. It's with a speaker. Like I've never actually saw it, but the news, like our local news, would show it once in a while. I'm like, what the fuck? That's real? Like that? That's so weird. Dystopian future.
We're living in a movie, man. It's It's just so strange. I mean, the only like the good thing about it is like traffic here is like dropped like 80%. So I mean,
That's
my
the best
God,
part, I think.
dude, yeah. I'm like, I mean, I can get up later.
Yeah,
I mean, I can get to work in like less than a half an hour. Usually take a little
right,
more, and then getting home, like especially on a Friday, there's
right,
sometimes it would take me an hour and a half to get home. It takes me like
right.
40 minutes now, and it's like it's
Yeah.
nice. So I'm kind of hoping when all this shit ends, I'm like, no, people, stay home,
Stay home.
You're
And
okay. You can work
they
from home.
probably will. I mean, a lot of
Dude,
people probably will.
that's what I'm wondering too. When all
Yeah,
this is over with, like
yeah.
how much is it going to be where people are still going to stay home for work?
Hmm.
And how many, people are just not going to go out still. I mean, they're going to,
Hmm.
unless there's like a full on vaccination out there. I mean,
Hmm.
as soon as the movie theaters open, I'm going. I'm totally just, I'm having withdrawals from going to the movie theaters, man. I'm telling you what.
Right.
I mean, you know me, I go every
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah. You go
You
every
know?
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, no matter if it's
Every
with
movie
people or
comes
by
out.
myself, I'm all about it. I just love that. It's my sanctuary. I turn off my phone and, I watch whatever the fuck, whether it's good or bad. Hey, look who's
Right.
here again. Whoa, look who's here. Oh,
Hey,
if only it was
Zach.
really him. Watch it really
Drop
be
that
him.
Arm of the Dead trailer. No, okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Watch it really be him. I always
I
wonder
know.
about that. Anyways, but as soon as the movie theaters are open, I'm there. But I mean, a lot of people are not going to be there. I think I even read a headline or read an article and said even for like sporting events, people said like there was like 72% of people wouldn't go to a sporting event without a vaccination.
Right.
I mean,
Isn't baseball season opening? They're opening, but without the fans. Like it was like a just.
The last I heard was they're thinking about doing the entire baseball season in the Arizona facility that they do spring training at, because there's multiple fields. So they're thinking about having all the teams play there, and then they're also going to utilize the Arizona Diamondbacks Stadium. So in that, there wouldn't be any crowds, but they're thinking like Arizona specifically because it's like it's a hot spot, not for like a hot spot for the virus to flourish, but a hot spot for heat, because the virus can't flourish in the heat.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, who knows what the hell, Jeez.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the last thing I heard. I haven't heard anything else. Who knows? I don't know. That's another thing though, dude. It's like we're supposed to be in baseball season. I'm jonesing for some baseball games right now too.
No.
I'm a baseball fan. So I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyways, speaking of Zack Snyder, what has been going on about the Snyder Cut that we should talk about? I mean, obviously there was the article from Fandom Wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that guy.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, I remember. I know you were requested on commenting about that and everything, and then of course I made a video, and I didn't like the video I made, and I exchanged words with the man himself, and I realized there were some things I shouldn't have talked about in there. I kind of went full like fuck this guy kind of thing, and brought up things that were like, okay, don't need to like go that direction. So I know a lot of people were like, why'd you delete it? And I was like, I just wasn't proud of that video, Sometimes you've probably been there too, where you just like, should I upload this? I don't know if I like what I said or this. I mean, I don't know. I know your process is a little different than mine, because yours is you don't have like really any cuts.
Yeah.
Yours is almost pretty much live. You just
pretty much. I mean, there are some cases where you do see cuts, and that's probably because a 3-year-old just shows up all of a sudden randomly on the right side or something like that. But I get you what you mean. If you didn't like it, I've done that before. I deleted a whole video.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like,
yeah, I've done that. I mean, it's not the first time too. There's been times where I've had the video full on edited, ready to go, uploaded, and then I just go, no, this sucks. I left out this. I forgot to mention this. And then I'll just redo it. And I did that with that video. I sat on it for a day because I was like, is this going to like start a fucking like a shitstorm and everything? And then I just got home from work and said, fuck it, go. And then, after the next day, he's in my DMs going, what the, it pissed him off, which I kind of thought was funny a little bit too. I'm not going to lie.
yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, no, because especially when I watched the second stream that he did with Jody, and they were kind of trying to be a little more reasonable. He was being a little more reasonable than Jody. That's for damn sure. I mean, I thought when Gob went on there, Gob just went into a shitstorm for sure. Like,
Yeah, that was pretty much Gob versus Jody. I mean,
yeah,
they've had a thing going for a long time, and it was not necessarily about the article at that point.
no,
It was all the stuff that he's been doing videos of him and stuff like that.
it got really
Yeah.
ugly, and it was just, I don't know. It was, I saw some of that and I was like, that was probably not the smart idea to do that right there. But yeah, Jody seems like, but I mean, at the same time, you know, him and Jay went at, you know, Jay, he came on Jay's stream and they talked about stuff, which is kind of cool. I thought that was nice of him to go on somebody else's, like a smaller YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way this guy would go on a smaller YouTube channel, but he did.
Yeah.
I'll give him that, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, but I think when Garza went on and, you know, talked, explained some stuff, and I think Andy was like, you know, he was listening and he was changing his tone. And Garza brought up some stuff, and then and Andy even did a follow-up video where he talked about the AT&T thing, like how it's different. Warner Media is not the same as Warner Brothers. I mean, there's just different things that could be happening.
Oh, he did had a follow-up. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he did a follow-up video talking about the information that Garza gave him. I mean, see, Garza's not completely useless, guys. Come on. he can be good.
No, you did good. He did good. I liked it. No, I did. I said, you know what? Even if he didn't change Andy's mind, maybe the viewers may have changed their mind.
No, he did. Like the next day, he did a follow-up video talking about the information that he got from Garza, and that was pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's why I was like, I was totally off base with my video because I of course I made the jab at the beginning, which is just my style, you know. But the fact I talked about it more, and then I don't know. So basically, with that, but it was actually a good thing because, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, was like, now I just want to do just do the whole timeline of this whole thing, you know, start to finish. I mean, starting from the reaction to BVS till now. That's where I kind of want to just like do a whole video series and just talk about everything. Talk about when I got contacted by my source, by my person that started giving me information, and then just all the information. And I just want to, and I'll incorporate some of the stuff that you've talked about within it too. It's just something I really want to like do now. Just
sounds exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
that's great.
Like it just like at first I was gonna do like just redo the video that I was gonna the article, and then just talk about everything and just be like reasonable and stuff. But then I was like, no, let's just start from the beginning because you know, I've always been kind of coy with some of the stuff I've been told. You know, I just I never like full on dedicate a video about it because, you know, I would drop little nuggets here and there. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just start from the beginning, and I'm going to talk about stuff that I've been told that ended up being right, of course, and which some people might say like, oh yeah, you like the humble, you know, like the brag and have the ego. I'm like, no, that's Garza. No, yeah. Right. But no, I was just like, sometimes I just kind of go, I don't want to like bring like that much attention to something that I don't even know was it fully, but then it ended up being right. And I'm like, why did I just
I guess it was right.
Right. You know? And I'm like, especially when I know like who I'm talking to is 100% legit. You know, I mean, one of the things that I've always said when this person hit me up, I vetted him for a month. I just was like, this is some MCU fucking fanboy that is fucking with me right now. It's got you know, but then he started telling me things and it sounded like, wow, that does sound legit. And then, you know, what did it was, hey, what's your Vero? And I just said, oh, it's just my name. Okay. And then 20 minutes later, I see Zack Snyder wants to connect with you. I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
Okay, you're legit. So, I mean, that's what full on did it. So I was like, okay, you are this person. Sweet.
Right.
So, that's basically, that's something to look forward to, as well as, like I was saying, I'm going to do live stuff too in the kind of like almost like the style like you do, you know, you go over topics and just talk about things, but I'm going to do it, you know, live. You ever thought about doing it more live stuff?
Or live stuff? Well, I do live chat Saturdays, and that's just my opportunity to just connect with people who want, you know, on the chat, because I feel bad. They're probably commenting on my YouTube. I don't have time to look through all my YouTube comments.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'll just reserve this for a day. You know, if you guys can make it. But I want to get more people on my stream. It's just that I guess between, especially now with the kids and I work at home, and just scheduling it becomes kind of difficult, especially when we have to go shopping and stuff like that. So it's like, I try to, like, I want to get Fatal J. I want to get some check. I've never had you on my show, actually. Now I think about
Yeah,
it.
I know. I'm
So
so
I did. One day. No, but I definitely, yeah, no, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Okay.
saying that. I was saying that too. Like, I want more people to come on here, not just like the. I mean, of course, I love it when you come on here. I love it when Colbert comes on here and Justin, all those guys. I mean, they're always welcome. I mean, you guys are almost like my panel. Like when But I when I did the the show with Sean O'Connell, that sounded
Yeah,
yeah, that was film Junkee After Dark. No, yeah, no. When I had O'Connell on, Sean
yeah,
O'Connell, like that was like a lot. That was like one of my funnest streams because I talked to him for an hour and we
yeah.
like went back and forth, talking about everything, and it was a very great conversation. And then I invited, the normal guys on, and then we also had a great conversation too.
Mhm.
So it was just kind of like it was like 2 hours of just like first I had an interview with somebody who's doing something really cool and
Yeah,
somebody new and somebody who's been within the movie blogger business
right.
forever. And then I had my normal friends that I just like to bullshit with, and it was just,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. So I was
Well, it's
like,
good.
yeah,
Just like a reaction to what you talked about, or what's your, it's fine. It's you see that in
yeah,
regular TV shows. It's
exactly.
like
That's
your
great.
own version
I
of
know
The
it
View.
felt like a legit TV show for a minute there. Like, wow,
Yeah,
I had an interview like a big guest, and then I had my panel.
yeah.
Like, almost felt like Bill Maher a little bit. I was like, whoa, look at me go.
It's your virtual couch. It's a
Right?
virtual, it's fun.
Yeah, and then I think like in the back of my head, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do something more like that. So after purchasing, the new microphone, I was like, you know what? I should do like more live stuff. And then yesterday I was just kind of just farting around and going, okay, the vodka stream is always going to be the vodka stream. It's going to be at night. We're going to be drinking.
Right.
I'm not going to have all the lights on. I have my little stringed up lights on and the screen that's just illuminating me. But I was like, what if I just, put on my little studio lights, utilize the green screen, and, have kind of like a legit topics show. And that's why I posted a little image of myself. And I was like,
Yeah,
that could be something, do that Monday through Wednesday, starting off, maybe do a Sunday thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
definitely.
I mean,
Go for it.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you always got to like figure out ways to like grow your stuff, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think sometimes with me, and I think a lot of YouTubers I see, you get kind of like in a rut and you kind of want to do like different things.
You complacent.
Yeah. Sometimes like I remember when I got really busy with like daytime work, I did mainly my little short videos that I do. And I was like, damn, this is like, I just, that's all I'm doing. I need to do like more of my opinion stuff. And, sometimes you just want to like just do, and then anytime that I, like for instance, when I did my last casual Batman video where I made the shirt for him and got him a new cowl, I was really excited about that because it was something different. And it was something challenging because it's me, obviously.
Right.
Spoiler alert, I'm casual Batman.
Oh
my God, it's exclusive.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the identity of casual Batman. But it was it was challenging because I had to. I mean, first I shot the casual Batman stuff, and that's a process. People don't realize that is a process because, and it's gonna be. Well, I get the stuff that baseball players, football players use the shit under their eyes. I just do that, and it's just at first when I started doing it, I used eyeliner. Boy, was that a pain in the ass! Not hard at all, because it's just like it took forever.
Is it hard to take off?
Oh, dude! Basically, what I have to do is So what I do is when I put it on, and then I put the mask on, and I do my thing, and sometimes it'll take like half hour to an hour, and that's with the mask on, and that thing does not breathe well. I mean, I can only imagine what the Batman actors went through when it comes to their shit. Jesus,
hours and hours. Yeah.
Yes, you always hear about you know, you always hear about, oh, you can't hear anything. It's hot in there. And I mean, I can only imagine what it's like wearing like all that stuff. And I'm just wearing just a latex mask that I bought off Amazon, you know.
I always laugh seeing Zach take a picture of Richard Strone in the suit, and he's just sitting there like,
Yeah.
It's like, yep, that's pretty much how it is probably.
Yeah,
Between
pretty
takes,
much.
you're like, let's get on with it.
God, I tell you what, man, I can only imagine. But yeah, so I'll do all that, and then when I take it off, I mean, all that stuff is like smeared on my face.
Oh,
all the
wow.
sweat. So then what I do is I grab a paper towel, and then I have baby oil, and I rub my eyes, and that's a pain in the ass. I try to rub it off as much as I can, and then I hop into the shower, and I'm using soap. And then sometimes that's not even enough, where I'll have to do a second round of baby oil because I'll come out still looking like Chris Angel or something with eyeliner, still looking like I have eyeliner on, like in my eyelashes. So
wow. So casual Batman is not that casual. He does a lot of work to get.
Of course, yeah. You're not supposed to know that though, right? Because one of these days, I wonder if a Batman movie's ever going to acknowledge that, you know. Ever going to acknowledge the blacked out eyes? I know, because not even Batfleck did that, because there's that scene where he gets back to the Batcave and he just takes off, nothing on his eyes.
Eyes is fine.
And I think like the funniest version of that was in Batman Returns at the end when you see Michael Keaton, and before he takes off his mask, it cuts to Michelle Pfeiffer, then it cuts to Keaton, and he has no eyeliner at all, and then he rips off his mask. It's like, did you not think that anybody was not going to notice that there was no eyeliner or no eye stuff before he rips off the mask? It's just funny how that is. Like, is any movie going to ever acknowledge that?
I don't know.
Maybe Matt Reeves will do it. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, just to see like Alfred just hands like some black goop to like Bruce, and he just goes just war paint, like it's war paint. You know, maybe there'll be a scene where he's just like, let's do this. He's in the mirror, just like, I'm gonna fuck some bad guys up.
Yeah.
That would be a funny scene.
Like Commando, they're putting on their
like a montage, just putting on makeup and stuff. But yeah, when it comes to Snyder Cut stuff, I know there was like something circulating today. I mean, the whole HBO Mac stuff has been interesting. What are your thoughts?
Well, I went the whole thing about HBO Max PR liking to Snyder Cut articles. I don't know what to make of that. I don't really either. I don't know if it was a mistake, but even now, because all the attention on it, it's still there. Because I checked, is maybe they took it off. Oh no, okay, it's still there. That's interesting.
Yeah, they didn't correct it. It seems like, I mean, even when what's his nuts?
Jason Keeler. Keeler? Yeah. I don't know how you say his last name.
Who knows? Yeah, even when he was liking tweets that had released a Snyder Cut in it, and it's like,
and he didn't unlike it. Like,
he didn't unlike it. There was
called out. He's like, I'm still gonna like it.
That's just, it's subtle, but everybody should realize that. Look, guys, I mean, as much as we could bicker back and forth about things that are working and things that are not, things have worked. From where we were in 2017 to where we are now, it's so mainstream. It's so it's talked about. I've said it before. I mean, there's negotiations that have been happening. The last I've heard that Snyder was waiting, and who knows? I haven't heard from my source in a bit. Everything's kind of at a standstill, but I mean, negotiations were happening, and it's just a waiting game. I
mean, I think you and I and others do know what's coming out on HBO Max at a certain point, but it's just great to see it actually kind of happening, or in a way, and it just, even those little teases, I don't know if it's actually happening, I'm just saying, even those little teases, it's more towards that conversation rather than it being a total ignore or not.
Here's the interesting thing: is like HBO and AT&T wants to release according to Lightcast. Zach says not yet. See, how does he know that? I mean, I know of Lightcast. I've heard of him. Like, how does he know that?
I did the show with him today. This morning.
Did you? So,
and he kind of told. Yeah, he talked about. Well, it's basically Taylor Murphy, which is not his real name for Culture Nerd. And if you listen to his podcast, so that guy, he has a family member who is at Warner Brothers, so he keeps his name private. So, but essentially, it's kind of like, well, how much do you believe in things like that? Because you never know who has sources now here or there, except for you. But but
Right.
it's like, but that's what he hears. That he said that, well, the studio just wanted to release it unfinished as is, but Zach wouldn't want that because Zach would
No.
definitely want it finished. And so, well, okay, that kind of makes sense for the most part. But I don't know. I mean,
That sounds a little
their
weird.
version.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds a little
yeah,
weird because I don't know why they would want to release a unfinished product. I mean, I
mhm.
think there was like we've talked about. I've even talked about that. I mean, like, what if they just release it as is? But as further going along and just talking to different people in the biz, and sources and stuff, I'm like, yeah, why would they want to release an unfinished product? That's why I'm like, okay, so negotiations are happening, and they're like, yeah, and they would want to invest in that, especially when they have this new streaming service that's coming out that has to go up against all these other streaming services that are coming out. I mean, we're in a streaming wars right now.
Even more so. I mean, this whole COVID-19 thing really accelerated the process, accelerated the thinking of, and you saw those two articles. I think Garza mentioned, called it out too, like how Deadline was Warner Media and saying John Stankey wants to, rethinking the theatrical model.
Yeah.
And then the Hollywood Reporter came out and says, well, Warner Brothers said, it's like,
we're still
yeah,
releasing our big movies.
Right.
Come on.
Trying to be relevant. So yeah,
I know, man. And that's the thing. I mean, because it's like, yeah, I totally get it. Like, you're going to put a movie like Scoob, okay, like a little family animated Scooby-Doo movie. You're going to put it on a VOD service. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I probably will watch it because, I like Scooby-Doo. I mean, it's my childhood right there. I'll probably watch the new one and rent it. It's totally fine. But a movie like Tenet or Wonder Woman 84 or, Godzilla versus Kong, I want to see those on the big screen. I want to be in the theater and watch those. So I'm totally with that. And I know that a lot of people are totally with that. It's just, I think it's when it comes to the studios, it's hard to gauge what people are, what's going to happen when all this is over.
Right.
They're still trying to be like, hey, we still got to be profitable. We still got to make money off this thing. I mean, no matter what it comes down to, it's still a business, guys. It's
right.
No matter what,
it's all about the money
that we could do about it. And speaking of all about business, hey! All right, I don't like this kind of view right here. So even though the thumbnail is totally wrong for some reason, yeah, I'm going
to see a little suicide.
Sucker
punch. Hello.
Yeah, we got some sucker punchness in there. I don't know. It's very strange. And Steven, your background just gets better and better with each time you're on this thing.
Yeah.
He's even got a new microphone. Look at you. You got a microphone. Look at you.
It looks similar to yours, Dave.
I know.
That picture you gave, you were like off the side with the big falcon.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, and then I saw you had it, and I was like, oh, I might have.
He had to get a bigger one too, a bigger, shinier one. See that? He was threatened by the size of my microphone, and fucking got a bigger one.
Well,
see how it is.
See, now I'm jealous because you guys got bigger rooms than I do. I still have a fucking corner.
You said you moved recently, right, Swenson?
Yeah. No, but from the beginning Ping Pong Flicks videos to then.
Oh, okay. I saw you comment about something. I'm like, you moved?
Well, because someone asked, saying, it's all black in the background, and I was like, "Are you in a closet?" And I was like, "Well, that was a small house."
Okay, there you go.
I was like, corner.
Oh, okay. I'm like, man, you moved during this time. That sucks.
Oh, this is hilarious. This mic,
gives
you guys a deeper voice. It's not a big deal, but it's funny.
Well, I can hear you fine.
No? Yeah. Whatever. Maybe that's just how we talk, Steven.
It's the drinks.
Yeah. So anyways, we were just talking about, of course, shocker, Snyder Cut stuff. And we were just talking about recent things and everything. And
may I add that I hear people saying, why do you keep talking about the Snyder Cut stuff? And I'm like, there is no other DC news out right now.
Yeah,
I mean, motherfucker.
Yeah, we could talk about like movie delays and postponed productions and stuff like that. But I mean, notice that there's a lot more people. I mean, for fuck's sake, there's some sites that are going like, was Zack Snyder fired on the Justice League movie? And it's like, you're just talking about that now? Wow,
we got this covered.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it was like other like websites talking about like that now, and it was like, yeah, we've been talking about that for 2.5 years. What are you talking about? And yeah, I mean, right now it's just the time to just really,
yeah.
Really,
well, there's a few things. There's a few things happening, and one of the things that you'll see a lot more of that coming up, because as sites that that cover a lot of this stuff kind of try to read the tea leaves and see the changing winds, they're recognizing you can see a lot more people are just assuming that it's going to come out. And you'll see bloggers all over the place saying, oh, it's got to be happening. There's something happening. This doesn't happen just by, there's even people that think that the like the fan noise is like coordinated by WB as like viral marketing. And so what you're going to see happening as more and more of that happens is anyone that runs a site that is, they use any kind of analytics or anything to run it, they're going to want to start making sure they have SEO authority on Snyder Cut topics. And so they're going to be not only covering a lot more of what's coming up, and probably doing so horribly because they haven't been paying attention, but they're also going to be going back historically to cover a lot of the stuff that they need to have caught up on. And so that's how you're going to get stuff like, was Zack Snyder fired? And because they don't have anything to backlink to on that, and so they want Google to have a history of them having written about it, so that when people search it, they're more likely to come up with their site instead of other sites who have actually been covering it for a couple years,
2.5 years.
Oh, interesting. So they're building their own archives, and
yeah,
sense. Oh, wow.
That makes sense. I mean, I get it. And like, especially during a slow time. And I mean, and I guess we gotta look at it like a good. What are you drinking, Steven?
It is a Crooked Street Cream Ale, but it just it keeps on
Street Cream Ale.
Every time I just set it down, it starts foaming out again. I'm not even doing anything. Wow. I don't know what's going. Like, that's irritating.
Your beer is foaming at the mouth. Weird. It's got rabies in it.
It's still going. What the hell?
No, but I mean, it makes sense. I mean, and we got to look at it as a good thing. As frustrating as it can be, it's like, hey, guess what? Release the Snyder Cut. It's like so mainstream now. I mean, that's why when you hear about anything and they say release the so and so, it's like, yeah. I mean, there was release the JJ cut, release the butthole cut of cats. I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's become a mainstream topic. So when there's ever, I get people that'd be like, they shouldn't be doing that. It's making fun of the whole thing. I'm like, no, you're looking at it at a bad angle, dude. You need to look at it as it's mainstream now. It's a good thing. The fact that Seth Rogen said release the butthole cut, that's a good thing. Okay, it really is. Don't look at it as they're trashing the movement or anything like that.
Everyone takes everything to like Ben Meckler or whoever the blogger was that one of the guys that got he's a reviewer, got early access to HBO Max, and the first thing he did was make a Snyder Cut joke, and people were so mad.
Yeah, I know, the dog piling, man. I'm like, come on.
And like, I get it that.
Oh, is that the whole thing where Edgar Wright liked it or something?
Yeah. They got on Edgar Wright too. Like, Edgar Wright sucks now. Fuck man, come on.
Like, I don't know. I didn't think it was like the funniest thing in the world, but the fact that somebody logs onto HBO Max and their first thought is, I'm going to say something about the Snyder Cut. Like that's how I'm
good. At least he's thinking
like,
that.
That is my letting the world know that I have access to the beta. Like that's their clout tweet. Instead of being, they're going to get on and what are they going to say? Like, oh, I am a beta tester of HBO Max. Aren't I special? Instead, they're like, oh, why the Snyder Cut is awesome on HBO Max.
At least a dick pic.
Which, like, in its own is if you want to know about how significant this is, it doesn't even require the hardcore fans to like keep it moving. Nobody even said anything, and he logged on and said something about the Snyder Cut. First of all, second of all, it's a harmless joke. It's like whenever someone makes a Martha joke, and everyone's like, "You don't respect people with PTSD." It's like, I make jokes about
even Ben
serious movies
Affleck made a joke on Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Come on, and it was a good joke.
Well, look at any like serious movie or like dramatic movie moment that people make a joke out of with just like I don't know, Rosebud or
Yes,
I'm gonna make an offer him an offer he can't refuse. Like there's all those like lines that are just like branded in cinema history.
Right.
That people throw around cheaply all the time. And you know what? Martha is one of those. And maybe it's not always going to be in the tone that you want, but it is cemented as a like people are going to be making Martha jokes for decades.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
sorry,
made Martha jokes.
Sorry if you're upset that not everybody takes your movie as seriously as you do, but that's a level like very few filmmakers have a movie where people remember one line from it 30 years later.
Exactly.
We're not 30 years later yet, but we're on our way.
I mean, I make Martha jokes. I do even with Godzilla versus Kong. Oh, Mothra is going to be there. Mothra. Save Mothra.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's why when I do my
just playing
that's
around.
why when I do my BVS rewatches on Twitter, I brand it Martha Watch. It's like
yeah. I mean, I get that all the time.
There's like a Mother's Day campaign I think coming up. They should hashtag Martha's Day.
Martha Day.
Like own it. It's your movie. Like there's nothing wrong with people not like it's it's not a I don't know. There's nothing wrong with people not taking it seriously.
Well, they should call it Martha's Day. Put it plural,
Martha's
like Mother's Day, because
Mother's Day.
Martha's. So why not make it called Martha's Day? You know, why not?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, that's more likely to trend than like you're gonna have a lot better luck getting attention from using that as a hashtag.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like when Zack Snyder's Justice League trended, it's like that's a good thing. I know I've seen people like think no, it's got to be release the Snyder Cut. It's like no, I actually thought it was kind of cool that day, whenever day that was, where Zack Snyder's Justice League trended. I even tweeted out. I was like, it's nice to see that this had also. Trending. You know, that's a good thing. You know, to have more than just.
I've seen people got interested in that. Oh, I would like to see Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like there is a context to that Snyder Cut. You know,
people don't necessarily know what Snyder Cut is, and people don't always click on hashtags to find out. Zack Snyder's Justice League is pretty evident.
Yeah, it kind of
also a lot of people have.
Can you hear my kids? I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
A lot of people have hashtag release the Snyder Cut blocked. And so it's not going to come up. Whereas something like release the. There was actually a bunch of people who I know have it blocked who once it started trending were like, how do I have to go add another hashtag to my block list now? Which just shows you kind of the penetration of who's seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, when it comes to the Mother's Day thing, make it just call it Martha's Day or something. Martha's Day. I don't know if you say it like that.
I like seeing that when that entertainment trend and for the love of me, I can't for the life of me, I cannot get it to show up on my own trending page. I don't know how people are able to see that, but I liked how it said.
The only time it's ever popped up is when it's actually in the top 10 trends. It never for me.
Like the only time it actually really showed up was around November when that was like worldwide and I could actually visually see it myself. But for the most part, people just send it to me.
They'll be
like, here, look at this, look at this.
They'll say HBO Max is trending with release the Snyder Cut or with Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It's great to see all three of that was together in one box, and it just makes you aware that almost, well, I don't know if it does, but it's just kind of like, well, it's almost synonymous with each other in a way.
And if you look at the metrics, part of the reason HBO Max was even trending was because it was getting a boost from the Snyder Cut and Zack Snyder Justice League hashtags. It may have trended on its own, but the fact that it was beaten by both those other hashtags, and we know that a lot of them were referencing or giving attention to HBO tweets, says that it was they got a lift, and they know that they're going to look at their launch day analytics and they're going to be like, oh, so because like the type of analytics that like a social media team or marketing team is going to look at is how did our hashtag do, what else was doing well that day, and what hashtags is ours associated with. And they know that it said HBO Max is trending with release the Snyder Cut and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Which is, I don't know, I think it's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool. God, I was gonna say something and I totally blanked out right now. But God, man, yeah, I totally had something that just left my brain right now. Shit.
Take another zip.
No. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I know. Hey, take another sip. Cheers. No, but I think like when it comes to that, I mean, there before last November, it was kind of like we discussed it on here many times, especially you and I, Steven, where it's like, okay, we got to do more than just tweeting. What else can we do? And there were so many ideas. I mean, Justin and I went to fucking D23 with a release of Snyder Cut sign for fuck's sake and made a video. He was there at Comic-Con with the same thing. It was like, okay, we got to like bring it out to more than just the Twitter sphere. We got to let people know. And then after November 17th happened last year, now it's like that's literally when it became, I think, full on mainstream because you had the cast backing it up, most of the cast.
Yeah.
And it just, it was a turn now where anytime that somebody comes up with a campaign, they get it trending. It just trends now. Before it didn't do that. And, we'll get heat from it. Oh, I thought tweeting didn't fucking do anything there, Dave. I'm like, well after Zack Snyder pushed it and the cast pushed it, now you can.
No, there's apparently screenshots or something where I said exactly that. I said never tweet ever because it doesn't trend and it's pointless. So
it's just funny how that is because it was like, before it was at a standstill. Like tweeting the hashtag wasn't enough. But then, so it was like, okay, we got to like break down the analytics. We got to like do something, reach out. But then after November 17th, when Snyder made the push, where Snyder used the hashtag finally, and then the cast used it, it just now it's synonymous with.
It needed that help.
Yes,
and it needed that acknowledgement from the cast or else it's just a bunch of fans and it's not real, I guess.
I think it helps also that I think things are the tone is more positive than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Right now also. It used to be very, very combative. And I think that's part of the reason that while hashtag release the Snyder Cut is like one for the history books, that's part of what I like about Zack Snyder's Justice League is not only is it like fresh and it says a lot about the movie and it says a lot about his intent behind it. There's a lot of really cool things about that if you start breaking down the implications of the name. But also it doesn't have, there's a lot of baggage with the hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, there is.
And I think a lot of that is gone, but there's a reason that lots of people have it blocked, and it's not because they're Snyder haters. It's not because, well, I mean, some of them are.
Yeah.
But it's not because they're like, oh, this is like the worst thing ever, and I want it to burn to the ground. It's because people with that in their name or people using the hashtag were either harassing them or sending people to harass them. And the dogpiling is always a thing, and it's probably not going to stop. But I've noticed it's significantly better, which is a good thing to see going into making these other hashtags trend, is knowing that they don't carry that same baggage with them of the bad experiences that people who aren't a part of the movement or whatever are using.
Right.
Yeah, and then I mean, even when Snyder posted like Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's almost like he trademarked it, like that title. Like, it's not going to be if it gets released, it's not going to be called the Snyder Cut. It's going to be called probably Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's but we're always going to be like, yeah, there it is, Snyder Cut. It's the Snyder Cut because you don't. When you see the cut of the numerous, I guess, director's cuts of Blade Runner, you don't really call it the Scott cut. You don't really do that. You call it the
final cut now. I think is that the last one?
Like that. It's all different.
The final cut is the one that most people.
I think it's just because well, what's funny is like there were certain Twitter handles that talked about the Snyder Cut like right after Justice League came out, and then I remember seeing that people were even talking about that before it. There was even Twitter accounts that were talking about before it that said something about, oh, I'm sure there's going to be a Snyder Cut of this movie or blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it
was in use pretty, I went into this a dive in the other day, and it was pretty early on. People started using that term.
It was even before the movie came out. It's crazy.
Oh, even before the movie. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I saw it. I think I retweeted it too.
I mean, like within like a week or two of the announcement
Wow.
that he was stepping down. People
Oh,
were
wow. They already
they
knew
weren't
it.
using it like there was no hashtag release the Snyder Cut. It
Right.
wasn't like capitalized Snyder
Mhm.
Cut. It was just there will be a
Snyder.
Cut version of it.
versus
Oh,
a Whedon cut. It was just how they were differentiating what was going to happen with each like version of the movie.
Now, wasn't there like, isn't there like mention about, there something that was mentioned about like a director's cut coming to HBO Max or something like that I briefly saw this week? And did you guys
I thought it was just that guy. Huh?
No,
Was it
there
just
was a
that guy?
joke. Someone back when the HBO Max announced their slate, another person made a joke about a Whedon director's cut. They faked a HBO Max tweet that was like, "We're proud to announce a director's cut of Justice League from Joss Whedon or whatever." And
I
it's
just
the
thought
same thing. How dare you disrespect my entertainment?
I just wonder, like, is Whedon never gonna like talk about that situation? I mean, when all this can be actually really talked about, when it's all out there, it's like, what is Whedon gonna say about all this? Is he ever gonna like be interviewed about, hey, like how he was approached, how it all started, what they asked him to do? What's he gonna say? I mean, I know we all like, especially people within the fandom hate his guts. And I mean, he's lost a little, he's lost respect from me, just from a lot of things. I mean, I think I got really pissed at him a while back when he was like liking people shitting on, Steppenwolf or something like that. He was liking tweets or something, and I thought, I was like, why are you doing that right now? You're supposedly like the one that was trying to help this movie, and you're liking people shitting on it. What the hell are you doing there, buddy? And him recycling jokes and just putting in really just shitty content in the movie. It's just kind of like, I just want to. I mean, I feel partly sympathetic to the fact that they brought him into this shit show that nobody was gonna be able to fix. Like, they wanted him to basically redo the whole movie in 6 months.
Well, and I still don't think that I don't think they brought him in and said, we want to de-Snyder this. I think that they gave him, I don't know. This is not something I've heard about specifically. So this is not me citing anything, but just kind
someone's going to clip it out, Steven.
Based on the way everything came together. What makes sense to me is that he was brought in and told the same thing everyone else was told. Hey, this movie is basically done. We just need you to do some light dialogue reshoots and whatever. But then what happens is you start getting those studio notes, and because of the nature of why Whedon is there, he doesn't, like, you think Zack kind of ran out of clout or whatever he needed to push back. Whedon never had it, because he was always an instrument of the studio. He was never in a position to say no. And so what was packaged to audiences and to Whedon from the beginning as, you're just going to finish this movie out, became the same notes Zack probably would have gotten, where he would have just been like, oh, we're not going to do that, or he'd push back. Whedon had to do every single one of them. And like, if you've seen I think we might have talked about this last time, there's a Corridor Crew video where a guy that worked on Superman Returns, I think, talks about a studio note he got, or maybe it was Superman. I think it was Superman Returns, where an executive was like, "What if he loses his cape?" And so, like,
I heard about that one. Yeah,
and he's like, "That's not how that." He's like, "But how do you can't explain that to them, because like they're paying for it and they don't care,
right?
Like, they don't see the significance." And I think that's changed a lot. You have, Kevin Feige making comic book movies now, instead of the people that were making comic book movies back then. Kevin Feige was back then, but
just
anyway,
some suit.
yeah, and so you got to imagine that Whedon is also getting stuff like that, and they brought him in because of what he did on Avengers too. So people make a big deal about like Flash falling on Wonder Woman's boobs. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Sujihara was like, "Oh, hey, that was really funny in Avengers. Can you do that?" I don't know. But that's the kind of situation I envision. That's not to totally take guilt off of him, because he was in a position that was bad. But I think he was promised something different, and so that's part of why he also hasn't spoken out. In retrospect, he should have spoken very early on and been like, "Nobody wants to be in my position.
Yeah.
I didn't do this out of none of what I did was a judgment on anybody else's creative decisions.
Yeah.
Very PR things that he could have said, even if they were lies early on. But now at this point, unless he apologizes, which like who's going to come out and say, "I'm sorry, I fucked up that movie so bad."
Right.
Like it's not many people can really, in his position, he might be able to get away with it. But like you don't do that about like stuff that you direct in general. So
Yeah, you know what's funny though is like I actually got invited to a test screening like a few months before the release of Justice League, but I couldn't make it. And then, well, even the person said, "I don't know if it's Justice League. It might be. It's probably not." He even said that it's probably not. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna drive over to Burbank or wherever the fuck on a Tuesday night, wherever it was during the week, to just on the off chance that it might be Justice League. And then, of course, what happens? He hits me up and goes, "Dude, it was Justice League." And I went, "Oh, man.
You could have caught to see them.
You know what's funny? I won't say who it was or anything like that, but he actually snuck a picture in the lobby, and guess who was standing there? Joss Whedon. He was standing there. He was actually at that test screening. And of course, this person goes, this is where the world started falling for me. I think this was like maybe a month and a half before the movie came out. And he even said like,
we were still saying like, "Oh, it's still Snyder's movie." It's still
but then this person was like, "This is not what Snyder wanted." He told me that, and I was like, "Oh God, don't tell me that! Don't tell me that!" I mean, yeah. And this is kind of like the stuff I'm going to go over when I do my little series about how this whole shaped up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm even going to make videos where I watch my first reaction again, and I watch my follow up just to tell people how I was actually feeling. I mean, it was such a shit show because I had so many people just waiting for that first reaction. And I remember just walking out feeling like I got gut punched numerous times because of how I defended all the fucking shitty rumors. And they ended up being true.
Wow. Even for a bad movie, it takes a lot to come out of it and say, "Don't go," or say like, "It's the worst thing ever." Like there's a spoiler nature to your reaction to a movie sometimes just as much. Like you can say it was great, you can say whatever, but to ruin a movie for somebody before they even get to see it, even if you thought it was terrible, is a hard thing to do. And we didn't even know the full it's so much to process where you're like, what happened? And I guess I'm not in the position of having to do a quick take reaction like either of you are. But I was still pretty vague, like on my Twitter reactions. I was just doing BVS quotes, like it was. I should have seen it. It was right in front of me. Or this means something. Well, it might something on my world. My world doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, my world.
That stuff.
And people were like, "Oh, is it that good?" And I was like, "That's not
what you meant."
Oh, man. I mean, it's just like I remember sitting in my car for like 10 minutes going, "What do I say? What do I say? What do I say?" And it's going to be kind of interesting to look back at that video because I haven't watched it since pretty much that day. But just to see my what I came up with, because I mean I was sitting in my car like going, "What do I say? What do I say?" Because I know that this movie really got fucked with. Right up that opening scene, I just remember my smile just disappearing, seeing Superman's fucking face. It was just like all of us. It was like,
what was really weird for me with that opening scene, and it's one of those things that stuck with me the whole time, and it's so hard to process because then you get this other stuff that comes after that, like the Batman rooftop scene, which to me was jarringly not Snyder, and Batman gaining a beard over and just stuff like that. Which, like, people talk about all the other editing changes, and like, meanwhile, Batman doesn't have a beard, and then the next scene he does, and that's weird. But the weirdest thing that stuck with me about that scene was that was like the foot that they put forward. I spent a good chunk of the movie being like, why is that the first thing they wanted us to see? Like, why?
Oh, that Superman.
Like, who put this edit together? And they're like, all right, so the movie opens. And they're gonna ask Superman about fighting a hippo. Like imagine that was the movie was, imagine this was the script they used from the beginning. Like you're pitching this, like the movie. It's not a sequel to anything. It's like we're gonna make a Justice League movie. It's like, all right, what happens? It's like, well, So first of all, it's this shitty cell phone camera, and then you have Superman, and his lip is fucked up for reasons we don't care to explain right now. And he's talking to two kids who ask him a nonsense question, and he gives it a nonsense answer.
Yeah, hope
And then
is
they ask him another nonsense question, and he looks off camera and smiles, and then it cuts to black. And they're like, and this is the first Justice League movie in live
That's
action?
the
Like,
first
yes, it is.
Yes.
That's how we're gonna kick
That's
it
how we're
off.
gonna roll with it. Go.
And then it goes into that montage, which is
That was the
totally
big
a tone
Superman
shift.
moment that Jeff Johns
Yeah.
was talking about. No,
I mean,
Well, in the montage also, that was one of the ones I was back and forth on because, like,
yeah, because it seemed like it was
kind
Snyder.
of Snyder-esque, but also it was one of those things that felt like it was trying to imitate.
trying to imitate. It's because it's trying to be watched in almost. Yeah,
It was Snyder
slow
made
motion, and it was actually not a bad opening. It
not
actually
necessarily, but I couldn't get my mind around whether or not it was imitating Snyder or if it was done by Snyder and then repurposed or messed with by Whedon. But it wasn't right. Like there was something about it that just didn't make sense. It was like, oh, here's your Snyder opening because that's what that's the only thing people like about his movies.
Yeah.
For the record, those are quotation marks.
Yeah.
Sarcastic.
You're already clipped. You're already clipped and canceled, dude.
Yeah, you're canceled.
No.
You're canceled again.
Again. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just continue on.
No effect.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I know. I think for the longest time there was just a debate, like, "Oh, that's totally Snyder. It's got to be. Look at it," because it was very hard to determine.
My favorite was the debate over the rooftop scene with Batman.
Yeah, I even thought maybe
they got like the comedic actor being the dopey criminal.
Yeah.
And then the parody and then explodes.
I think my love for Batman just kind of got me like, what are you talking about? I mean, look at him. He's perched up on a gargoyle. Dude,
there's some cool shots. I mean,
yeah.
Whedon isn't totally incompetent.
No, he's not. He did make the first Avengers movie, and it's still very watchable. I mean, he did pull that off. I always say to this day, like the fact that he took that movie that was essentially another Iron Man movie, but he gave great balance to all the other characters. And then the final act of the invasion on New York, I mean, he did a relatively good job. When you watch it now, I don't think it's as cinematic as like Infinity War. Like, I think Infinity War is better.
A lot of it, we're kind of just like, whoa, this is the first time we're seeing all these characters together on the same screen.
Sense whatsoever, especially in the context of like Infinity War, given with like Thanos's objectives, but that's another. Like, what are they doing? Like, oh, he wants to kill half the universe, so they're rounding people up in coffee shops.
Yeah. But like, when it comes to Whedon, it's like I just want to. It's going to be interesting when he breaks his silence about the whole thing, like if it ever happens.
So I was talking to Matt from Lightcast, and he brought up something that is about people possibly in Warner Brothers is trying to keep this from happening, because if it does get announced or released, there's going to be those questions, the baggage you talked about that goes along with it, and we'll open up these questions to asking the people that were involved, well, what happened? Why is there a Zack Snyder's Justice League? Like, and I don't know if you guys share that same opinion about these certain people are trying, and that's why there's these negative articles, maybe or maybe not. They're trying to keep this from happening, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
always a hard one for me to answer because, on one hand, yes. On the other hand, I don't like encouraging people to get all conspiratorial about every single person being a snake hiding in the shadows. Like most of this stuff that you like whenever the trades publish something that's typically coming from somewhere, it's either coming from like, and they'll say, like, you'll see, like you guys were talking about before I jumped on about the Warner Brothers sticking to the theatrical model and all that. What you're seeing there is a power struggle between Warner Media and Warner Brothers. And that's playing out in the trades or just in the media in general. And so what happens is you'll have something like HBO Max is launching, and they want to encourage people to subscribe and to watch that. And so there's a pandemic going on, and they're going to say, oh, the theatrical model is going away. This product that we are trying to sell you is the future. And then Warner Brothers, who does not own HBO Max, they still trying to release stuff in the theaters, are having an internal power struggle with. I mean, you look at Zack Snyder's Justice League as an example. They don't want it to happen. AT&T wants it on HBO Max. It's the economic model doesn't really make sense for theaters, but it does for streaming. So they're gonna say, oh, it's not happening. But it never comes from like AT&T or HBO Max sources. It's always
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
And so you see the same thing with that.
And that's anytime like these guys like contact sources, guess what? It's reps for Warner Brothers. It's not Warner Media. It's not AT&T. So of course, naturally, they're like, no, we don't want it. Fuck that. They hate this shit. But at the same time, you got AT&T and Warner Media going like, hey, we need content for our streaming service. Hello. Guess what? And then that's where the whole idea of like, well, what if it did get put into an episodic mini series or something like that to bring people in to get people more engaged, where it's like they could stretch it out.
Movie. I mean, it works both ways.
It does.
I know we bring up the episode thing a lot, and that's just because it's really interesting to talk about.
Yeah,
I think it's important to say that is just one thing that may or may not have been thrown around. But it could also come out as a movie as well. But regardless, there is content that they paid over like $300 million to make this movie, and like 100 million of that is on screen. There's hours and hours and hours of not just footage, but time spent on VFX. That is in an archive somewhere. That's a sunk cost. They Chris, they bought a whole bunch of hot dogs and they're sitting in the freezer.
What kind of cut? Hot dog.
And so that's kind of Warner Brothers is like, oh yeah, but those are the hot dogs that like, oh, they've got cheddar in them, and people are weird about the cheddar dogs. And
you're gonna like
some people aren't. Like people will buy them. Like people will pay for it. Like we can make use out of it. Because like even a lot of times there, deleted scenes and stuff aren't uncommon. But not only do you have like a fully different movie out there, but then in addition to that, you have like another couple hours of footage from the assembly cut, and he wants to shoot more. So for a little bit of budget, for the same budget that you would spend on a TV show or on a streaming movie, you get a brand new movie that is the production quality of the most expensive movie ever made. I mean, you're going to get a movie that is
mostly
on par with Avengers Endgame production value. I think better, because that's not the gold standard, but we're talking about in terms of like blockbuster standard. Like that is, you're going to get a Batman v Superman quality, like production value movie for I don't know.
I want a hot dog, not a Vienna sausage.
You want a hot dog, not a Vienna sausage.
You need enough hot dogs, you grind them all up, you can make whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want to put down your throat. No, it makes sense. I mean, I think the whole idea of like, if it were to be like an episodic like mini series or like that, I think there could be toying of an idea of like, hey, well, what if we can continue this? What if it's successful enough where people are like, oh my God, we want more. Maybe they could extend it more. I mean, but then, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about that. Like, hey, if it's a hit, would Snyder come back to do his Justice League 2 and 3? That's always up in the air. But then at the same time, you got to look at the other actors. I mean, it's so up in the air. There's so much. There's just a lot of logistics to it that you just got to kind of let's just be patient. Let's just get the initial thing out first. Let's get that announcement first, and then we can maybe start talking about, when people start talking about, hey, well, what if Ben Affleck can come back and do his Batman movie? I'm like, yeah, I would love that. I want to see what Ben Affleck and yes, the guy in the ball cap, but also Snyder, who helped out. you know,
Mhm.
what they were coming up with Deathstroke and where
Mhm.
that Batman was going to end up, you know,
Mhm.
that little spinoff. Of course I want to see that. I'm a Batman fan. That's why when somebody tweeted out, like, take the red pill or the blue pill, what would you rather see, the Snyder Cut or Ben Affleck's Batman? And I even like kind of went back and went, huh, what would I want to see? You know, I mean, obviously I'd probably prefer to see the Snyder Cut just because of the, you know, past 2.5 years, obviously. But at the same time, I'm going, Ben Affleck's Batman. Oh, what was he going to have in his movie? What was that going to be like? If that all went through, Ben Affleck, even if he directed it, which I always thought was, that would have been like one of the hardest things that man would have ever done, is to direct a Batman movie as Batman, to the fact that he would, in a heavy 30-pound Batman suit, when he did a scene, he would actually have to go to the monitor to make sure that it looked good. You know, after wearing that suit for fucking, you know, 12 hours, he would have to go and watch the dailies. I mean, how the impact that would have had on his physical and mental health. I mean, my God, it would have been something. I think he was ready to approach it, but maybe,
well, knowing him, that's something that would be very appealing, I think, to him in concept. The notion of writing, directing, producing, starring in a superhero movie would be something that
nobody else has done. Yeah.
Nobody else has done. And that's why, is because it's such a feat. But Affleck is
And
the
the
kind of
fact
guy
that it's
that's like,
Batman,
oh, yeah,
I mean, Jesus.
yeah. Affleck is one of the few people who A, is in a position to
that he
do
could
that.
do. Yeah.
He has the talent, but B, even if he did it, it's not like that would pave the way for a bunch of others, because like nobody, that's the decathlon, right? Like,
yeah, I don't see it being like he would have made a trilogy. No fucking way. It would have been like a one-off.
Was that 4? Right.
So this way, could that Batman have existed without the Snyder Cut? Like,
I think so.
I wonder how hand in hand.
Yeah, like some of the ideas that came off of like BVS and Justice League. Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but I mean, we all know that Justice League 2 was going to see Batman sacrifice himself and die. So that's why it's like it wouldn't have been a trilogy. I know some people always had in their head, oh, he would have made like multiple movies. No, it would have been a one-off, and then there would have been Justice League 2, and then he would have went out in the blaze of glory. And I think when Affleck signed up for, you know, we talked about it many times. He signed up for the initial BVS Justice League 1 and 2, and then he was going to go out in a blaze of glory. But he was like, all right, I'll do the fucking Suicide Squad cameo. Fine, not hard work. Obviously, he probably did like not even 3-4 days of work. Anything, you know, it wasn't anything too strenuous. And then it was like, okay, yeah, you know what? I do want to make my own Batman movie, you know, and he was working with Jeff Johns. And of course, Snyder, while they were making Justice League, they were probably like in between when scenes were being set up, they were talking about ideas and what this scene could have and where the story could go. And this, you know, and that's what I want to know. I just want to read the fucking script, to be honest. I wish he would just leak the script and so we could see what was going to take part and know the fact that, hey, Snyder was a part of it. Yes, Johns was a part of it. We know that there was drama behind there with Justice League, but you never know. They could have possibly been making one of the, if not the best Batman movie we would have ever seen. Yeah. It's
Jay Oliva was involved in that too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
and probably Jim Lee, maybe.
Jim Lee was a big part of.
Jim Lee was a big part of everything Snyder was doing. So
yeah.
I don't know. Well, it may just drawing stuff out mainly, but my God, I don't know. There's a lot of things that what could have been, and you know, it would be nice if we all had our own little cosmic treadmills where we could travel to various multiverses or time travel just to see exactly what could have been, you know.
But if it does work out and Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out and it paves way for more, and you know, with the intention that it is 100% creator made, then it's a good thing that this happened. But we can't say that yet unless it actually happens. But if it does happen, then okay, maybe having that studio gone that far and messed with it might have been a good thing.
Well, the problem is you have to break the seal.
What?
Break the seal.
Oh yeah.
So the studio officially hasn't even acknowledged that it exists. Warner Brothers, AT&T, Warner Media,
Yeah.
Emmerich, Tsujihara, Hamada, none of them have outright acknowledged it since all of this stuff has gone on. And once you break that seal and you've got the cut released, or at least you're able to talk about it out in the air, then you can start talking about like, okay, so there's a demand for the rest of this story. What's the best way to do that? And then there's a public discussion on it. And like the Snyder Cut is out, or whatever happens with that. I mean, let's say it's out. Then they can talk about like, well, we'd love to continue this story, but maybe animation would be best to finish it, or maybe.
Dude, that's one of the things I've always thought about is like for Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm like, what if they just did an animated version of that? You know, it wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and maybe he wouldn't direct that, and maybe he'd voice it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But because there's so many questions. Let's say, so it hits HBO Max. It's a movie. It's 214 minutes long. It's the greatest comic book movie ever made, right? Naturally, and it's huge. It's like the biggest streaming movie of all time. Can they sign everyone to come back and do another one?
That's the
is
problem.
it streaming only, or is it theatrical?
Yeah.
Like the Snyder Cut, you have the footage, right? Or they need some more, but it's a couple days of shooting. Everyone wants to do Snyder a favor. You know, they'd love to do like 2 or 3 days of shooting, whatever.
Yeah, we know Lennox is involved, but is Adams, is Diane Lane, is, you know, I mean, Cavill. I think Affleck, like I've always said, Affleck, I think do it. Because, I mean,
Affleck would do 3 days of pickups for Snyder.
Yeah. He flew out to New Orleans to do fucking Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I mean, and he wasn't even going to be playing his character. He was like, when Kevin Smith explained it, he's all, well, we can't get Hamill to do Cockknocker. You want to be Cockknocker? And he said, okay. And he flew out there. But then people were like, dude, Kevin, are you really going to invite him out and not have him play Holden McNeil, like his character that created the characters? And then he was like, yeah, you're right. And then he wrote out that nice, awesome monologue, which I think is the best part of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's by far.
Yeah, that movie was. I'm new to the Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, I remember you went on a marathon for a bit.
I did, and I just got to the reboot a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And first of all, if you haven't, start with Clerks, work your way through. It's great.
Yeah, it goes Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma,
Clerks
Silent
2.
Bob, Strike Back, and then Clerks 2.
Then Clerks 2, yeah.
I've been a fan. I watched Mallrats on Stars when it premiered, like in 1996. I fell in love with that movie, and then I realized, like, oh my god, he's got this whole other like universe. Wait, the same guys are in this movie. What the fuck? I mean, that was my first
they're all great
entrance into a cinematic universe. It's called the View Askew universe.
Yeah,
and Jay and Silent Bob reboot, like, there's some weird. I think like Silent Bob doesn't work quite as well. I don't know if it's because Kevin Smith has lost the weight. Or if it's because of the phone. Some of his phone doesn't quite work as well as he's like he's too much of a character as Silent Bob. Like his expression, he's too active. I don't know. There's something that doesn't quite click about it.
Yeah.
And Jay Muse is, I don't know. I've always had he's not quite as all there.
Sober. He's sober now.
Sober
now. That's what it is. Yeah.
And so like their characters don't quite click. As like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, for example, you compare the characters in that to this.
So great.
They are 150%. It is amazing.
So much.
And it doesn't quite work in reboot until you get like to the halfway point and they start getting like the meta commentary about like fatherhood and aging and redemption and
starts being less self-aware, I guess you could say.
Right.
Yeah, and that all hits hard.
Oh, fucking A.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, like when I watched, I actually, like I said, I went out to LA and it was one of the screenings where Kevin Smith talked and then did a questionnaire afterwards. Jason Mewes and his daughter and some of the other actresses came out. It was cool, but yeah, I mean, when you watch it with legitimate Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob fans, I mean, it's like, but I even found myself like, wow, that's really cheesy. That's like so over the top. That is so, like, I mean, you're so self-aware. But then
90s.
Kevin Smith even said like his favorite moments was when Jason Mewes was really, those father moments, those really in-depth moments. He said those were his favorite moments of the movie. But you could really tell that he's just like, Kevin Smith wanted to make what he wanted to make, and it was very. I mean, for some fuck's sake, Kevin Smith makes an appearance in the movie itself.
Yeah,
and it's very meta.
Yeah,
but
not to be off topic, but I hope that you have that kind of sense with Bill and Ted. The new Bill and Ted, because their fathers.
I'm waiting for that first.
They're that'll be.
I'm really curious about. I feel like something happened with Reeves, and I don't know if he's got good producing partners or if it's him doing it, but he's gotten way better at picking scripts and developing scripts in the past decade, I guess, or
you said
7 years.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Okay, I'm like thinking Matt Reeves. I'm like, why are you changing it to?
No, sorry, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I call him Keanu. Everyone calls him.
Well, I mean, Bill and Ted 3 has been in development for like 20 years. I mean,
wasn't it originally Biodome?
Yeah, I think there was something with that. Like, there's been so many pitches for Bill and Ted 3. So that's why, like, I know I'm like really hoping. I mean, the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, it's a classic. It's, it's that classic 80s movie. I could watch it and just be nostalgic. I mean, I fell in love with that movie when I was a kid. I mean, that and Back to the Future. I mean, me and time travel movies, I'm all about it. Even to this day, you give me a time travel movie, I want to watch it just to see how they deal with time travel. I love time travel movies. And when I was a kid, Back to the Future and Bill and Ted were my fucking jam. And then when Bogus Journey came out, I loved it, of course, when I was a kid. You watch it now, wow, that thing is a piece of shit. But it still got those characters that you like. You still got Reed, still got Winter, still got Rufus. I mean, it's a horrible B-rated type of movie, but you still like those characters. I'm just hoping that with Bill and Ted 3, they're probably going to be, I mean, I know they're supposed to have death. They're supposed to have the Grim Reaper back in that. That's going to be weird to see how that happens. There's not going to be any Rufus because, of course, rest in peace, George Carlin died like a decade ago, which, it's going to be interesting how they handle that. But I hope there's going to be a lot of meta stuff in there, I'm sure. I mean, but even like, I mean, it was funny too, because even like that Super Bowl commercial for Walmart, you had Alex Winter come out as young Bill and then older Bill. And it was like, okay, there's going to be something like that in there for sure. Aging shit in there where they're going to run into themselves back in the first movie, the second
where
movie.
They'll do like a Terminator thing where they like reuse footage.
Yeah.
And like stick themselves in old footage.
Or de-aging technology. I don't know.
Like take the scene from the Circle K where they run into each other, but just replace
69 dudes.
Yeah, replace half of like you could easily do like that's how they did Forrest Gump. Like 90% of the historical footage in that. Take the 69 dude scene and replace half of them with the older ones.
The older ones.
Now that we mentioned that, I'm sure they're going to do that.
I'm sure it's going to be something interesting. I mean, especially when they have their, they have daughters and stuff. I'm just wondering, like, when are we going to get that first trailer? I mean, I know it seems like now trailers are also being postponed because we don't know when these movies are coming out. So, like, there hasn't been a trailer for a new movie, it seems like, for a while. And I even said before, I caught wind from somebody that we were supposed to get that first Army of the Dead trailer because they were going to do a test screening for Army of the Dead. And then I guess gauging the test screening, they were going to release the trailer like, a few days or a week after. And but since they couldn't do the test screening because of, the COVID-19, when that was starting, they're like, who knows when the fucking trailer is going to show up. And I'm like, God damn it. So we were supposed to get that trailer probably about a month ago.
Maybe Netflix doesn't.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's Netflix also because, I mean, I know like when it comes to like a lot of their original content, a lot of their movies that they don't like put a bunch of money into, they just throw on that thing, and you might just like go, "Hey, what is this? I'm gonna watch that and see what it's like." It has an interesting little thumbnail.
Yeah,
not only that, but it's since the whole model is different from the theatrical, what they've learned over time with their marketing is that and this is not like me speculating. This is like coming from someone at Netflix explaining why they don't do trailers early. Is that when people see a trailer for something that's on Netflix, if it's like coming in December 2020, then people are like, okay, cool, I'll remember that. But if it says on Netflix, people want to jump on Netflix and watch it
like now.
right then. And so what they do is they just save their marketing for like a month, 3 months max beforehand, and they just focus it all then. Because when it's on Netflix, what happens, because there's so much stuff on Netflix, is if people see it and it's like coming to Netflix, people are going to think they already saw it.
Yeah.
And they've got this like, oh, that I remember that they talked about that being on Netflix. And we're not talking about like the hardcore fans. We're talking about the other 97% of the audience. It becomes just that movie you've scrolled past 100 times, even though you've never scrolled past it, but you can't tell the difference because you've been seeing marketing for it for a year. Whereas
so
when
weird.
Yeah, and it's weird psychologically, but that's
It
why.
really is. I mean, it does make sense because it's like, why, if it's going to come out in like October, why, trailer in February or March? But at the same time, you're hearing like sometimes you're thinking, well, maybe with the bigger budget movies like they did with The Irishman, it's like, well, maybe there might be a limited theatrical release. You never know.
Yeah, they do want a theatrical, but it wouldn't be wide and it wouldn't be very long. I mean, it's still a movie made for Netflix, not a movie made for theaters that will then be streamed on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, when I got that information, I mean, who knows if the trailer was actually going to show up? But I mean, I think for a fact there was supposed to be a test screening for it at one point.
Well, and I've heard that from someone other than you. Also, the trailer. I don't mean to second guess you on the trailer, because if you were told that, then you were told that. But that is just not consistent with my understanding of.
Okay, Steven, you can see I'm a hack, and I'm only using the movement to boost my fucking channel.
Well, I got to steal some of your followers. That's the only way to do anything.
That's an interesting concept, though, about the Netflix model, where they don't release a trailer out that early because it's not essentially they're waiting until it's like about to be released. So I'm wondering if that could translate to even the Snyder Cut. Like, we're not going to get an announcement or a trailer until it's ready to be released, because that's a streaming model.
I think, I don't know. This is I'm speculating on this, but based on what we know needs to happen, we know he wants to shoot some stuff that'll probably only take a few weeks, assuming he's able to line everybody up and their schedules. So that's not a drastic problem, but and we know that he can do that in secret, because he's done stuff like that before, like on like the WB lot when he made Snow Steam Iron. He was just like, oh, by the way, I made this, and it'll be about that level of production
with an iPhone. It's gorgeous.
But the more like that you do, the more chance there is that it leaks. And this is not one that they want to. They don't want the news about this one to get out before they're able to couch it. They want this is a movie that they're going to want to. If it's not announced in the trades with like a full interview from Snyder, it'll be via like a video from Snyder or something explaining it. They don't want the cart getting in front of the horse on this one after everything they've been through with it. And so while it's a possibility they'll try to do the shooting, and then I'm going to estimate 6 months of post-production work, give or take 1 or 2.
There you go. What are you talking about? It's done.
And well, I hate him, and that's why I want there to be 6 months of post production work.
No, man, I'm all about like, hey, take your time. I mean, like, make it
well.
Pretty.
And the thing that people are forgetting also, and the reason that, like, the whole is it done or is it not argument is going to be so arbitrary by that time, is that when it's released, it's going to be so changed from the status that it exists in right now. It exists in the status that would have arrived in theaters in November 2017.
This comment right here too.
Hey, Mikhail.
Yeah. That crew. I mean, that's the thing. How can he bring that exact same crew back? That's got to be difficult.
Well, maybe it depends on it depends on the status of the contracts from the other one, because normally like pickup shoots or reshoots, it's not uncommon for it to be a completely new scene.
Yeah.
So like I talked to someone that worked on 300 or on Rise of an Empire, and they said that when they did reshoots for that one or pickups in in the UK for that, and it was an entirely new crew, but it was under the same production. So the question is Justice League, like, is that a completed contract? I assume it probably is. There's no reason, like, we would know if that was like an open deal still. So there's all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of paper trails that are going to exist regardless. They're going to talk to VFX companies. If it's tweaks or if it's 6 months of work, they're going to talk to VFX companies. They're going to talk to actors. They're going to talk to agents. They're going to schedule time. And so they don't want the Snyder Cut coming out to be revealed because somebody gets a hold of a casting grid or something like that. What they're going to do is they're going to come out and they're going to say, we're doing this. This is what we're doing. And then all of the scooper stuff, the casting grids, the location arrangements, the budgets, all of that stuff. None of that is like news now. There's no drama around that because they get it out in front.
They want to lead the conversation pretty much. They want to be the...
Yeah, they let the conversation get away from them. And the whole reason they would release the movie at all is to gain back control of the conversation. So they're not going to do it in a way. And that's why they haven't said anything on it yet. Even like there's been no public statement because they can't control the conversation unless they wait until they have a final decision.
I mean, yeah, basically everybody needs to realize there's like so many logistics to this whole thing. It can't just be like, bam, it's out there, done. It's, just put it out there, and I think like a lot of
historical thing too. This has never happened.
Yeah. This is the first time. This is something that's like, it's something that's never been done, and I think that there's always been the rumor that like other directors are like, fucking hey man, this is bullshit, and they just
they like it,
and they might, I mean, I could probably kind of see that, I don't know, and then you got to wonder like, but then you also got to wonder is like, what is this gonna do for future directors that have to, when it comes to these like big tentpole movies for studios where they where you have these suits that are trying to call out decisions. I mean, there's a great interview with Rob Zombie on Joe Rogan's podcast when he talked about doing Halloween and the second Halloween and all the fucking stupid shit that was just requested from above that they wanted him to do and the fighting that he had to do. I mean, these movies, these properties, I mean, they're so sacred that, it's difficult for these studio heads to just let these directors just do what they want to do.
Right.
That it could be such a shit show. I mean, it's fascinating that Marvel and Kevin Feige kind of have their own formula down. I mean, give or take, whether you like it or not, they have a tight knit, system.
Well, they still podcast. As you see, like Edgar Wright, Scott Derrickson,
that was early
on. Jenkins,
that was early on, though. Nowadays, it seems like the directors don't really fight. Well, except for Scott Derrickson, and you can almost tell, like, Scott Derrickson, he wanted to make the movie he wanted, and it probably was too scary. And then you got to wonder. I mean, I actually talked to somebody who gave me some info about Doctor Strange too. That there was a table read, and Raimi is on board. There's going to be 4 other characters in that movie that are known, but it's supposed to be a scary, weird type of fucking weird movie. I think maybe Derek, and I guess Derrickson wanted to take it a little too far, then that was out of the comfort zone of fighting in the MCU. And I think maybe Raimi, thing about Raimi, I think is, he's good at the horror stuff. I mean, the original Evil Dead is probably my all-time favorite horror movie. I love that fucking movie because he made it like with the $10,000, $12,000. I don't know what the budget was. I know it was super, super low. It was like, and the stuff that he utilized to make that movie as freaky as it was. But then the second Evil Dead, he started going the comedy route. Like, it was funny, but it was also quirky. It was funny. And then Army of the Dead, he just straight out went, hey, this is quirky. Those movies do not sync up at all. That whole Evil Dead trilogy, every time they do a recap, it's not the same as the previous movie. Like,
1 and 2 is basically 1 again. But
basically is, because when they do a recap of 1, they talk about Ash talks about him and his girlfriend go to the cabin. I'm like, no, there was 5 of you that went to the cabin. What the fuck?
Right.
And then at the end of that movie, he he goes through the portal and then shoots like the big pterodactyl thing with the shotgun, and then he's looking at the hero. But then when you see the beginning of Army of Darkness, he's like in chains and slaves. And it's like, okay, they just changed it again.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Raimi, like, basically, I think maybe with Doctor Strange 2, they did want to make it horror-like and do something pretty crazy. But I think Derrickson, the fact when you look at his filmography, you look at Sinister, and you look at movies like that where he probably wanted to go off the cuff and be really scary. But I think Raimi kind of maybe gave him that balance of comedy as well. I don't know.
That speaks 1,000 words is Derrickson says it'll be, or does Feige say it'll be the first horror movie in the MCU, and then the audience is like, yeah, and then this dude is like, rated R, and then Feige goes, it'll be PG-13 and you'll like it.
You're gonna like it. Yeah.
When you look at it like that, and then I'm just thinking that Raimi probably can balance that maybe better. Maybe that's why they brought him in, and maybe it's gonna work out. And if it does work out, or Raimi doesn't walk and he can balance that out, then I'm really looking for. I mean, I like the first Doctor Strange. I do like the first Doctor Strange. It's one of the top.
I was like wondering if like Scott Derrickson is like, look, I gave you the first Doctor Strange and however you wanted it, and I gave you down. Now is it my turn, to get what I want? And it's like, well, we can't really give you all that you want. This is still Disney. We have certain
frustrating,
regulations.
Well, and also, like, don't forget that Feige was a producer on those movies.
Yeah.
So like they have a history, and the MCU hasn't brought in someone who's as like much of a veteran as Raimi recently, but those guys tend to do a better job of they have like more clout to work with, and so it's easier for them to get their way with the studio. But B, they also just know how to work the system better.
Didn't Raimi have his own share of studio intervention for Spider-Man 3 though?
Oh yeah.
I mean, so he's not,
that's a better but he doesn't like Venom, and so like Venom was basically forced on him, and he didn't really try very hard. He just kind of punted.
And it shows too, because when you watch Spider-Man 3, the Sandman stuff is great. The Sandman stuff is fucking great. The Venom stuff kills that movie. I mean, I remember watching it like
the part that's frustrating about the Venom stuff,
and I'm like, the Sandman stuff is fucking good. They should have just kept with that, but the fucking Venom stuff is shit.
Yeah, well, and as a big fan of like the 90s animated show, I really think that they should have made it into 2 movies. And done all the Sandman stuff as they did, and have the black suit as just like a thing that's kind of happening, and have it end in a cliffhanger in the bell tower with Eddie Brock turning into Venom. That's the way they did it in the fucking animated show. He was hanging on the that's right. He was in the bell tower, and the symbiote was taking him over, and
that
then
would have been Spider-Man 4.
That would have been Spider-Man 4, and it starts, and then you have the Venom backstory.
That would have been.
You can even bring in Adrian Toomes, like you can do it because you're splitting Venom between 2 movies. You can still do like the Vulture stuff that they wanted to do in Spider-Man 4, and have Venom.
And they still have to deal with Harry Osborn too. I mean, there's so much.
There was a lot dealing with that. The Harry Osborn stuff was like, some of it was good, some of it was kind of like it's just seemed like James Franco was just kind of like, I mean, we got good memes out of it, that's for damn sure. But I don't know. You're right though. They should have had a cliffhanger with all that, just like they did with the show. And because I just remember watching it again. I'm like, the Sandman stuff is really, really good. It's really good. But
and quite frankly, even like the people really chew on the dancing stuff and all, and there's a bunch of weird stuff in there, but like it's Sam Raimi, like there's that kind of stuff.
There is,
like, he does that comedy, and like even now, like that dance is hilarious now, and
you watch it,
it's a meme, and not in even so much of a cringe way as it's like generally hilarious. But because there's not a strong enough dramatic through line, because they're split between the villains, I think that what he intended for that to be was totally lost. And also remember that's a product of the symbiote suit. So it's part of him being like, well, I want to have this in here, but like I don't know how to like. I know that's him being like, oh, he's just affected by the symbiote. So he's gonna
it just seemed like it seemed like it was just like it wasn't thought out. Like he could have probably like that all if that all took place in a thought out movie where it could have taken place in 2 movies, it probably could have been better and not just. It seemed like it was when you watch the scene where he's doing all that and doing all the dancing. It seems like a bit, I don't know, maybe a bit half-assed or something. I don't know.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much.
There's one of those ones that I liked at the time. I think it was my first midnight showing.
Yeah. I
Depending
saw
on
it
the
opening night. Yeah. I
year.
saw it, and I remember like, that was pretty good. I mean, I remember people just like laughing, like, "What the fuck are we watching?" when some of that stuff. But yeah, but I mean, it's so weird because didn't that movie make like more than the other movies?
Oh yeah, it was one of the highest grossing movies of all time at that.
But it got so much backlash. They were like, and I've always talked about how they judge whether they should reboot like these movies or not. How do they determine whether they do it? I mean, it's not just about. I mean, I think even talking to
what
like,
do you mean by reboot? You mean like remake the
yeah,
like bring Toby back into canon?
Like why they decided not to move forward with Spider-Man 4 and this reboot the franchise? And I'm like, was it because because obviously that movie made a shit ton of money? It didn't make $1 billion, right? Or did it? It didn't make $1 billion.
No,
right?
it was like 700.
Yeah, but like, but you would think like automatically they would just greenlight Spider-Man 4, but I think the backlash of it was just they also look at that like there's a balance of box office backlash. I don't know.
Yeah,
I always Superman Returns. I mean, I don't know that movie. I don't know.
That movie didn't make that much at all. Was it like 250 or 2 something? I was like
the Brandon Ruth one.
Yeah.
Oh, not much.
It didn't make much, right?
Yeah, that was. I remember seeing gifs of Jack Sparrow shooting and it kills Superman as he falls off the cliff, and I was like, "Oh damn!" Because at that time, what was that? Dead Man's Chest or something came out, and it totally took over that box office.
Did you guys know? I believe none of the Pirates movies other than the first one is rated fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah,
first one, right?
believe it. Yeah.
The first one's fantastic. And,
the first one's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that the others are. They got varying levels of quality even within each individual movie.
I mean, I think they're like, well, when the second and third one came out, didn't they shoot those at like almost the same time or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they were trying to make
that a lot back then.
They were trying to make like a total like this big thing. And the first one was just so like, it was like lighthearted. It was very, very Pirates of the Caribbean. And then Johnny Depp was just like a force to be reckoned with. And they just kind of just went really deep on it and really tried to make something like epic. And I don't even think I saw the last one, to be honest.
The latest one
what's her name was in it, right?
The one they all came back. Keira Knightley came back at the end. Is that the one?
I don't. What's that girl?
I don't know if I saw that one. It's entirely. I know that I saw on Stranger Tides. I got on Stranger Tides on Redbox. After that, because I didn't see it in theaters, and I remember watching it, and the entire time I was just trying to figure out where it fit in the timeline. I was like, "Wait, is this a prequel or a sequel?"
Yeah. Stranger Tides.
Yeah, because it didn't really connect with because Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley weren't. Yeah, Penelope Cruz. Sorry,
right. And then that's the newest one. I don't remember what the name of it is.
Yeah, and it was like it just seemed like it was just like it was like a spin-off. It wasn't even like part of like that initial story. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what the newest one was. The one that has Orlando Bloom's son or whatever. It's not his real son, but
Nightwing.
Yeah.
It's Nightwing.
Yeah, Nightwing.
Nightwing. That's right.
Yeah, it was him. What's his name?
It's funny because that was somebody was coming at me about someone was coming at me about
Javier Bardem.
I tweeted about Sucker Punch and somebody was like, Snyder is not misunderstood. What ended up coming at me. It was one of those ones where they start off with like, I'm a Snyder fan too. Which every time I get into that conversation from now on, the first thing I'm going to ask is just be like, "Oh, okay. Well, tell me what's your favorite Snyder movie? Tell me all about it." Because like they're never a Snyder fan. they like, "Oh, I'm a big Snyder fan. I just have exclusively negative things to say about him." But they one of the things they kept on saying was there's this weird thing, especially on film Twitter now, and I think you get it with like I'm imagining all these guys like 15 because they are like just starting to get into movies and starting to get into the studios, and they think that they're like intellectual about it, and they'll be like, oh no, it was a great movie, but because the franchise died, it's therefore a bad movie. Or like because it didn't please audiences, it killed the franchise and it was a bad movie. And they were like, wouldn't you, if BVS was less divisive and hadn't killed the universe, wouldn't that be better? Like if Snyder didn't make it divisive and it got better scores and the universe didn't die, would that be better? I'm like, you're saying would I rather have a different universe than this one?
Yeah.
No.
You're letting that determine your own.
Yeah, and like, how does that have to? What does it have to do anything to do with my viewing? Like, to sit there and be like, I really enjoy this movie, but I think other people aren't going to, so I'm gonna not like it either. Like, what?
Yeah, it's
so
those arguments.
It's so weird, but anyway, but they were like, oh no, they were saying that you can't build a franchise without critical acclaim and whatever, and it's just hilarious because like, look, name me one franchise other than Avengers that doesn't have a foundation of Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Well, like, I mean, Jesus, I mean, there's it's not like the MCU has always had fucking like, their movies have always been,
but it's fresh across the board.
Yeah.
There's not a rotten score unless you look. I think Incredible Hulk 2's critical score is rotten or something. But like name another multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Yeah,
that is anywhere even close to that. Fast and Furious, most of those are rotten.
Yeah.
Or they might have switched that with the newer ones. They might have finally passed the 50-50 point.
Pirates
of the Caribbean are mostly rotten.
Yeah.
Most of the Disney live action movies are rotten. They keep on making those. They keep on making $1 billion.
Exactly. I mean, like Aladdin was not like praised. And that, and I always find it funny too, because when I see people going like, oh man, the critics are always sucking Disney's dick. I'm like, Aladdin was like barely fresh. I think it was actually rotten for a while, or it might be even rotten. It's like it's not even that. Like
any Tim Burton Disney movie seems to be like.
I still stand by last year. I thought like Tim Burton's Dumbo was the best live action Disney movie out of all the ones that came out. It was the most unique because Lion King was just a fucking 3D version of the cartoon. It didn't have any kind of like director's stamp, no originality. Aladdin was weird. It was better. It was actually I'll give it that it was actually better than I thought.
I didn't see it until I caught I don't even know if I saw the whole thing, but I watched it on Disney Plus. And it was way better than I expected. It were way more interesting.
It was. Like Will Smith ended up being like really, really likable, and I
really and the changes that they made to the story, I think, all improved it. It wasn't for the sake of being unlike Lion King, where they just did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
they actually made like the addition of the side love story with the genie. I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Or the way that they added something with Jasmine that
they did. They added more to her
where there was a side story that changed whether or not she knew who he or when she knew who he was or something like that differently. That added a really cool dynamic, I thought, compared to the animated movie. Anyway, sorry.
Did you guys see Dumbo? Yes.
No, I hadn't seen Dumbo.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, like it's got its Tim Burton-esque stuff in there, of course. And I thought I actually enjoy like that. I mean, the way that they made Dumbo, and he's so fucking adorable. First off, I thought the visual effects were really good, like done very well. And you root for the little guy, like the way that they do it. I mean, the original Dumbo. I mean, out of all the ones that came out last year, I mean, Dumbo came out like when did that cartoon movie come out? That came out what, 60s, 50s,
I don't know.
whatever the fuck. I mean, and it was strictly just about the elephants and it was like what, an hour long. The
really
other
short.
A little bit more. The other ones had a little bit more to work with. But like I thought what Burton did and the writers did, they really had to expand that world. And I thought they actually did a really good job with it. That's why I think it was underrated because it didn't do well at the box office like the other ones did. Lion King kicked ass, so did Aladdin, but Dumbo essentially was I don't know, I guess a bomb. But I thought it was the best one that was made out of those movies. I don't know. I think just people, because there was like some moments where it's like, holy shit, this is actually pretty fucking dark. This is dark, but it's a Tim Burton movie. What do you expect?
It's supposed to be.
But I dug that. I dug that. I'm like, this is different. This is good. This is what they should take chances on. But the sad fact of the matter is, people didn't show up, so now they're not going to take more chances on shit like that. You know. And then that's what I get pissed off when I see people complaining like, oh, Disney's doing this. Disney keeps doing that. I'm like, did you go see Dumbo? No. Yeah. Well, there you go. They took a chance on something darker and different. You didn't go fucking see it. So stop complaining. If you're not going to go pay to see something different, that was fuck you. Yeah. Sorry. I just went ranted there because I thought Dumbo was actually a good goddamn, like it was pretty well done. And it was something a little different. They took a chance.
Check it out then.
Yeah,
I got the impression, maybe if it was from the marketing, I don't know. I got the impression that it was going to be not like a paint by numbers, but just I don't know. It seemed very uninspiring, but I'll check it out.
Check it out. See what you think, because I mean, I'm not saying that it was like something like, oh my god, it was the best thing ever. I just felt it was different because they brought in like Tim Burton, for shit's sake.
For us, it's less of a kids movie. Then it was trying to market like it's a children's movie, but when you watch it, it's
some dark moments. There are dark moments in that movie. Like,
I mean, there were children, but
I was actually shocked by how there's some dark moments in that movie, and like I felt like I was actually, see, we got somebody in here that says that Dumbo was low key well done. I mean, like, I mean, there was just I felt it was truly underrated and. And they market it. It's like, oh, it's Dumbo. Look at him fly, this, that, and this. But at the same time, when you actually, when you see the story with the characters, with the family that's involved, and with Dumbo that's involved, and some of the dark story elements that involve him, it's truly like you feel for it because I think it's because they did the VFX for Dumbo so well. He's so adorable with the big ears and everything, and you believe that he's actually there and physical. That that it works so well, at least for me. And even my brother was like, "Yeah, that was actually pretty damn good." So, anyways, I think we should end it right there. End it on some hot Dumbo talk, huh, guys? That's a first for the vodka stream.
We went to Disney.
Yeah, we totally went on a Disney. I defended Disney. Look at me now.
You tried so hard to keep that off of the show. You were like,
"No,
make it a Disney show."
No, I defended Tim Burton.
I was like, "Not yet, man. You got to get the followers first."
They're all
going to go away.
Totally selling out.
And you were like, and I was like, "No,
right there. Look at me on the Disney show." No, I'm defending Tim Burton's Disney movie. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying it's better than Aladdin. Better than Lion King, you motherfuckers. Go watch that shit. All right, guys. Well, go ahead and promote yourself, Mr. Swenson. Promote yourself. Where can people find you at?
At Chris at Ping Pong Flick Show. Yeah.
There you go. Watch his stuff. And of course, Mr. Colbert.
You can find me at Screen Rant. Also, check out my podcast with Andrew Dice, BVS by the Minute.
Yes,
pretty self-explanatory.
Breaking it down by the minute.
Finally, we recorded a few new episodes the other night. So, when those are edited, get to talk about Martian Manhunter. That was fun. And then also on Twitter, you can find me at SM.
Yeah, right there. That's right there. Yeah. Good job. All right, guys, we appreciate you clicking in to the stream. And like I said, more live stream coming, more live stream stuff coming from me. I'm gonna be doing like a live stream show, like I said, starting off Monday through Wednesday, possibly a Sunday morning thing. Vodka stream's always gonna be here, but it's gonna be pretty cool. And then, like I said, look forward to doing like a timeline breakdown stuff of Zack Snyder Cut.
Sure.
What?
Nothing.
I didn't
full of lies, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, full of lies. Yeah, all the information that I was wrong about, I'm going to talk about. All the stuff. Not that I was wrong. It was my source that was wrong. Of course, not me. All right, guys. Cheers, and appreciate it. All right, talk to you guys later.
Take care.